Some of the most difficult battles we face are the ones inside our own minds. The battles against doubt, fear, frustration, and sometimes even despair. Life throws challenges at us, often without warning, and how we respond to these challenges can define everything. Now, picture this. What if you had a mindset so unshakable, so resilient, that no obstacle could truly stand in your way? That's the kind of strength the Stoics dedicated their lives to developing. A mindset that can overcome anything because it's grounded in the unbreakable principles of wisdom, courage, and self-control. Today, we're diving into the wisdom of the Stoics, not as some ancient philosophy locked in the past, but as a practical toolkit that's just as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. These are the lessons that have empowered people for centuries, from emperors to soldiers, and continue to guide millions. If you've ever felt like life is pulling you down, or if you're simply looking to build mental armor that can withstand any storm, stay tuned. By the end of this video, you'll have a blueprint for transforming your mindset, a way to build a mental fortress so that no matter what comes your way, you stand firm. So, if you appreciate what we're doing here and want to support the channel, a simple free favor you can do is hit that subscribe button and make sure not to skip any part of the video to fully grasp the transformative insights we're about to explore together. Let's get started. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to test your virtues, whether it's patience when you're stuck in traffic, resilience when you're dealing with loss, or courage when you're facing fears. The Stoics believed that it's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters. This mindset transforms obstacles into stepping stones on the path to self-mastery. Now let's get practical. How can we truly embrace challenges? It starts with perception. Instead of viewing difficulties as impediments, see them as instruments for personal development. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, what can this teach me? This shift in perspective isn't just about finding silver linings, but about forging a robust character that thrives under pressure. Moreover, embracing challenges means staying present and engaged, not detached or indifferent. It involves an active engagement with whatever life throws your way, handling it with a calm mind and a focus on what can be controlled. Remember, the goal of Stoicism is not to diminish your emotions, but to channel them in a way that serves you and your community better. This Stoic approach doesn't promise an easy life. Instead, it offers a meaningful one. By consistently applying these principles, you'll find that you're not only capable of withstanding adversity, but also capable of flourishing because of it. Every challenge becomes a chance to demonstrate virtue and build resilience. So next time you find yourself in a tough situation, remember, it's not just a hurdle, it's an invitation to grow stronger and wiser. This principle teaches us that true wealth comes not from external possessions, but from the richness of our ideas and the strength of our character. Stoicism encourages us to shift our focus from acquiring material wealth, which is transient and often beyond our control, to developing robust, transformative ideas that can endure and truly impact the world. Think about it. The most influential people throughout history were not necessarily those with the most financial wealth, but those who offered groundbreaking ideas that reshaped society. From the philosophical insights of Marcus Aurelius to the innovative visions of modern thinkers and leaders, the real currency they dealt with was ideas. So how can we harness this power in our own lives? It starts with nurturing a mindset that values creativity and critical thinking over mere consumption. Stoicism prompts us to ask ourselves, are we merely accumulating things that will fade, or are we developing insights that will last? This isn't to say that money and resources aren't important. They are tools that can be used wisely, but they shouldn't be the end goal. Our aim should be to create and contribute, to think deeply about problems, and to come up with solutions that do more than just serve ourselves. Moreover, embracing the Stoic value of ideas over wealth involves understanding that personal growth and societal contribution are far more rewarding than material success. This perspective not only enriches our own lives, but also makes us valuable to others by fostering a culture of thought leadership and innovation. We can inspire those around us to also look beyond the superficial trappings of wealth and consider the lasting impact of their thoughts and actions. In a world increasingly driven by materialism, the Stoic focus on ideas over wealth is a refreshing call to refocus on what truly matters. It challenges us to be thinkers, innovators, and philosophers in our own right, to build legacies of wisdom rather than just wealth. The Stoics teach us that while we can't control external events, we can control our reactions and actions, shaping our own destinies through deliberate choices and purposeful living. This is not about forging a path in defiance of the world, but rather crafting a life that aligns with our deepest values and virtues. So, how do we start creating our own path? It begins with self-awareness. Stoicism encourages us to examine our lives critically and to question societal norms that might not resonate with our inner truth. Are we following a career or lifestyle because it's what's expected of us, or because it genuinely fulfills us? By reflecting on these questions, we can begin to carve out a life path that truly reflects who we are and what we believe in. Once we have a clearer sense of direction, the next step is to take action. Creating your own path requires courage. The courage to make unconventional choices, to step away from the beaten track, and to withstand the uncertainty and criticism that might come with such decisions. Stoicism equips us with the mental fortitude to handle these challenges by reminding us that our worth is defined by our actions and character, not by external approval or success. Additionally, creating your own path means embracing the concept of lifelong learning and adaptation. Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius were proponents of ongoing self-improvement and adaptability. They believed that a wise person is always prepared to adjust their course and learn from their experiences. This adaptable approach is crucial in a world that is constantly changing. It encourages us to remain open and responsive to new information and experiences, ensuring that our path remains relevant and aligned with our growth. Lastly, creating your own path isn't just about personal ambition. It's about contributing to society in a meaningful way. Stoicism teaches us to look beyond our individual desires and consider how our actions affect others. By choosing a path that contributes positively to those around us, we fulfill the Stoic ideal of living harmoniously within our community and the broader world. This interconnected perspective ensures that our path is not only self-fulfilling, but also socially responsible. Change is inevitable. Change is also the principle of life. That means that everything that is alive will change, and even things that are not alive will change. Stoics understand that change is the only constant in life, and they teach us to embrace it, not just passively, but actively. They encourage us to mold and be molded by the changes that come our way, ensuring our growth and refinement through every experience. The Stoic approach to change is rooted in the dichotomy of control, a fundamental concept introduced by Epictetus. It reminds us to differentiate between what we can control, our actions, responses, and judgments, and what we cannot, such as the actions of others, the past, and much of the external world. By focusing our energy on our own sphere of influence, we become more effective and serene. This perspective equips us with a mental framework for adapting to change by reducing anxiety over the uncontrollable and empowering us to act where we can. Moreover, adapting to change means maintaining an internal steadiness despite external fluctuations. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, advised us to be like a rocky promontory against which the waves constantly break. It stands firm while the turmoil of the sea falls still around it. This image is a powerful metaphor for Stoic resilience, the ability to maintain composure and clarity of judgment no matter how stormy life gets. This stability doesn't come from rigidity but from a deep understanding of and engagement with the natural flow of life. Practically, adapting to change involves continual self-assessment and adjustment. Stoicism promotes an ongoing dialogue with oneself, a kind of internal audit on how we are responding to daily changes and challenges. Are we reacting emotionally or are we responding thoughtfully? Are our actions consistent with our values? This reflective practice not only helps in managing immediate changes, but also in anticipating and preparing for future ones. Adapting to change in a Stoic sense means viewing each new circumstance as an opportunity for development. Every change, whether perceived as positive or negative, brings lessons and chances to refine our virtues, such as wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. For instance, a sudden hardship might provide an opportunity to practice fortitude and compassion, while an unexpected success might test and strengthen our humility and generosity. This isn't about making rigid plans that resist change, but rather about setting a course guided by our deepest values and virtues, ensuring that each step we take is intentional and meaningful. The Stoics often spoke about the importance of living with a purpose that transcends daily fluctuations and distraction. They argued that without a clear long-term vision, we are at the mercy of external events and impulses, tossed about like a ship without a rudder. A well-defined vision acts as this rudder, helping us navigate life's complex waters with direction and foresight. In practical terms, developing a long-term vision involves reflecting on what truly matters to us, what we value most in life, what kind of person we wish to become, and how we can contribute to the world around us. This vision should be resilient, capable of adapting to changes without losing sight of the overarching goals. For example, you might envision yourself as a lifelong learner, committed to personal growth and the betterment of society. How this manifests might change with circumstances, perhaps through career shifts, evolving relationships, or changing social contexts, but the core vision remains constant. Moreover, a Stoic approach to long-term vision involves preparing mentally for both success and setbacks. It teaches us to anticipate obstacles and view them as natural parts of the journey. This preparation is not pessimistic, but rather a form of realistic optimism. By considering potential challenges and visualizing how to handle them, we strengthen our resolve and flexibility, making us better equipped to persist toward our vision, no matter what life throws our way. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of aligning our vision with actions that are under our control. It's not enough to simply dream or plan. We must also take concrete, consistent steps toward realizing our vision. This means setting manageable goals, reflecting on our daily habits, and continuously adjusting our strategies to stay aligned with our long-term aspirations. Each small action should be seen as a building block toward a larger purpose, imbued with meaning and direction. Developing a long-term vision, in a Stoic sense, means embracing the journey as much as the destination. The true value of this vision lies not just in achieving specific goals, but in the growth and insights we gain along the way. Stoicism teaches us to value each moment and challenge as part of our overall development, reminding us that the path to fulfilling our vision is just as important as the end result. This introspective practice isn't just about self-improvement in a conventional sense. It's about cultivating a deep understanding of our thoughts, behaviors, and the motives behind them, aiming to align our actions with the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Stoicism teaches us to turn inward and examine our responses to the world. This self-examination is a critical tool for personal growth, as it allows us to identify areas where our perceptions or actions may not align with our ethical standards or desired outcomes. It involves asking ourselves challenging questions. Why did I react that way? What can this emotion teach me? How can I respond better in the future? This level of inquiry helps us not only understand ourselves better, but also facilitates greater control over our reactions and emotions. Furthermore, the Stoic practice of self-reflection includes a technique known as the evening review, where the day's events are replayed in the mind, not to dwell on them, but to evaluate and learn from them. This practice encourages a kind of daily mental cleanup, ensuring that we remain vigilant and conscious of our progress toward our personal goals. It helps cement the day's lessons and prepares us to face tomorrow with a clearer, more focused mind. In terms of personal growth, Stoicism promotes the idea that we should strive to be better than we were yesterday, rather than better than someone else. This philosophy teaches that comparison with others is a distraction and often a source of dissatisfaction. Instead, by focusing on our own path and progress, this inward focus fosters not only self-improvement but also self-acceptance, acknowledging that while perfection is unattainable, continuous improvement is both achievable and deeply fulfilling. Additionally, Stoicism doesn't shy away from the discomfort that often accompanies growth. It acknowledges that real growth can be challenging and uncomfortable, as it requires us to confront truths about ourselves that we may prefer to ignore. However, it also reassures us that this discomfort is a natural part of developing virtue and character. Each challenge and every discomfort is an opportunity to practice Stoic virtues, strengthen our resolve, and enhance our capacity for compassion and understanding. Personal growth and self-reflection in a Stoic context mean living consciously, deliberately, and ethically. They involve a continuous dialogue between our inner selves and the external world, allowing us to navigate life not as passive recipients of our circumstances but as active, ethical participants, shaping our lives with intention and integrity. Every hardship presents an opportunity to practice virtues like patience, endurance, and resilience. For instance, when we face a personal setback, we are given a chance to practice perseverance. When we encounter injustice, we have an opportunity to cultivate fortitude and advocate for fairness. The Stoics saw these moments as exercises, much like a runner uses hills to build strength. It's not about seeking out adversity, but when it inevitably appears, it's about responding in a way that aligns with our principles and enhances our character. Furthermore, Stoicism doesn't advocate for a passive acceptance of all adversity. Instead, it promotes an active engagement with life's challenges. This involves asking ourselves how we can use an adverse situation to our advantage or to the benefit of others. Can a tough situation teach us something valuable about ourselves? Can we find a way to turn a personal struggle into a source of inspiration for others? By actively seeking the value in adversity, we transform our struggles into lessons and our trials into triumphs. Self-reflection plays a critical role in this process. Stoics regularly engage in practices such as meditation and journaling to reflect on their experiences, including their encounters with adversity. This isn't about ruminating over what went wrong, but about extracting actionable insights that can lead to personal improvement and better outcomes in the future. This reflective process helps internalize the lessons learned from adversity, ensuring that each challenge faced contributes to a deeper understanding and a more resilient self. Moreover, utilizing adversity involves embracing a certain level of detachment from external conditions. Stoics strive to maintain inner tranquility regardless of external circumstances by focusing on what they can control, their responses and their attitudes. This detachment doesn't mean not caring about outcomes. Rather, it's about not being emotionally overwhelmed by them. It allows us to face life's ups and downs with equanimity and act according to our values, regardless of the situation. Utilizing adversity in a Stoic sense means transforming every challenge into a stepping stone toward greater wisdom and a more virtuous life. It encourages us to not only survive our struggles, but to use them as fuel for our philosophical journey, enhancing our ability to live a fulfilling and impactful life. In doing so, we not only better ourselves, but also potentially provide a beacon of hope and strength for others facing their own adversities. Leadership and influence are not about wielding power over others, but about leading by example and inspiring those around you with your virtue and integrity. Stoicism teaches that true leaders are those who govern their own lives with wisdom and justice, and whose actions encourage others to do the same. This approach to leadership emphasizes personal character and ethical behavior as the foundation of genuine influence. In Stoic thought, leadership starts with self-mastery. Before one can effectively lead others, one must be in command of oneself. This means practicing self-discipline, managing one's emotions, and making decisions that reflect a commitment to the common good rather than personal gain. It involves cultivating virtues like courage, temperance, prudence, and justice. A Stoic leader models these virtues, demonstrating through their own behavior how to live a good life. Their influence, therefore, is not enforced through authority, but naturally radiates out, compelling others by the example they set. Moreover, Stoicism holds that effective leadership is about contributing to the well-being of others and the community as a whole. It's about service rather than status. This perspective encourages leaders to focus on how they can help others grow and succeed, fostering an environment where the team or community can thrive. By prioritizing the needs and welfare of others, Stoic leaders build trust and loyalty, which are essential for any influential. Communication also plays a critical role in Stoic leadership. A Stoic leader communicates clearly, honestly, and with the intent to enlighten and improve the situations they are involved in. They listen attentively, seek to understand different perspectives, and respond thoughtfully. This open and respectful communication style not only helps in resolving conflicts and finding common ground, but also strengthens the leader's influence by establishing them as fair and reliable. Another important aspect of leadership in Stoicism is adaptability, the ability to remain steady in the face of change and uncertainty. Stoic leaders recognize that they cannot control all external events, but they can always control their responses. This resilience enables them to guide others through crises and challenges with calmness and clarity, providing a stable anchor for their team or community. Stoic leadership involves lifelong learning and reflection. Stoic leaders are committed to their own personal growth and are continually seeking knowledge and wisdom that can enhance their leadership skills and ethical understanding. They are reflective about their actions and open to feedback, always looking for ways to improve and better serve their community. This is an essential part of Stoic practice, allowing you to pause, assess, and recalibrate your path according to the principles and values you hold dear. It's about looking back, not just to reminisce or regret, but to understand and learn. This introspective process is crucial because it helps you appreciate the distance you've traveled, acknowledge the lessons learned, and use that knowledge to shape a more purposeful future. Stoicism teaches us to view life as a series of opportunities for growth. Every experience, whether deemed successful or fraught with challenges, carries with it valuable lessons. By reflecting on these experiences, we engage in a thoughtful analysis of our actions and decisions, discerning whether they align with the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. This isn't about judging ourselves harshly, but about approaching our past with a compassionate and constructive mindset that is keen on continuous improvement. In this reflection, consider the times when you faced adversity. How did you respond? Did you react with frustration and anger, or did you find a way to remain composed and make reasoned decisions? Each instance provides insight into your character and resilience, offering clues on areas where you might strengthen your Stoic practice. Similarly, reflect on your moments of joy and success. These too can teach you about who you are and what matters most to you, reinforcing your commitment to those values. Furthermore, reflecting on your journey involves acknowledging the transient nature of life, a key Stoic concept. Everything, our successes, failures, joys, and sorrows, is temporary and must be appreciated in the moment, yet held loosely as we move forward. This awareness fosters a deep sense of gratitude for the present and a readiness to face the future, no matter what it may bring, with open arms and a willing heart. Finally, sharing your reflections can be incredibly powerful, not just for your own growth, but also as a way to influence and inspire others. By discussing your journey, you contribute to a broader dialogue about how to live a good life, encouraging others to reflect on their own paths and perhaps discover the Stoic way for themselves. Imagine facing life's toughest challenges, loss, pain, uncertainty, and still finding a way to rise above it all, not just surviving, but thriving. This isn't just about ancient history or forgotten philosophies. It's about something that can change your life today. I'm talking about Stoicism, a philosophy that has the power to transform your struggles into strengths and your fears into courage. It's not a magic pill, but a way of living that can help you navigate the chaos of modern life with grace and wisdom. Think about it. In a world that's constantly trying to push you towards endless desires and immediate gratifications, what if I told you that the key to true happiness lies in embracing simplicity, practicing gratitude, and focusing on what's within your control? This is not just another self-help gimmick. It's a time-tested, battle-hardened philosophy that great leaders, thinkers, and even emperors have used to lead meaningful lives. So, if you've ever felt lost, overwhelmed, or just plain curious about how to live a good life, stick around. Let's dive deep into the heart of Stoicism and uncover the secrets to a fulfilling life. secrets that Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus left for us to find. Trust me, this journey could be the turning point you've been searching for. The only thing I ask of you is not to skip this video in any way. If you're here, consider yourself different from the majority. Consider yourself an exception. Now, act like one and don't skip any part of the content. Number 1, take it step by step. In life, it's easy to get caught up in the cycle of planning, dreaming, and contemplating our next big move. We often find ourselves waiting for the perfect moment to start that project, to make that change, or to pursue that dream. However, Marcus Aurelius brings us back to a fundamental truth with profound simplicity. Knowing isn't enough. We must act. When times are tough, we must act. This isn't just about having intentions or making plans. It's about taking concrete steps towards realizing those plans. Procrastination is the enemy of progress. This idea of taking action, of moving step by step towards our goals, is at the heart of Stoicism. The Stoics believed in living according to nature, which includes embracing our nature as beings who can think, plan, and, most importantly, do. Marcus Aurelius himself was not just a philosopher, he was an emperor, a ruler who had to make decisions and take actions that would affect millions. His words come from a place of experience, reminding us that the path to fulfilling our potential is paved with actions, not just thoughts. But how do we overcome the inertia that holds us back? How do we move from dreaming to doing? The Stoic discipline of action offers a guide. Start small, but start today. This principle is echoed in the teachings of other great philosophers and psychologists. Aristotle famously said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." This speaks to the power of taking small, consistent steps towards our goals. It's not the grand gestures that define our character or our lives, but the small, daily actions we take. Plato, through his dialogues, taught us about the importance of aligning our actions with our values and ideals. He believed that true knowledge leads to right action. This aligns with the Stoic emphasis on living according to virtue and reason. By taking steps that are in harmony with our highest ideals, we move closer to the good life that Plato envisioned. Taking it step by step, as Marcus Aurelius advises, is about embracing the journey of growth and self-improvement with patience and persistence. It's about recognizing that every big journey does indeed begin with a single step. Whether it's improving our health, writing a book, or working towards a better world, the key is to start and then to keep going, one step at a time. Number 2, another path is always open. Have you ever hit a wall feeling like every direction you turn leads nowhere? It's a common experience, one that can leave us feeling frustrated, hopeless, and stuck. But what if I told you that this feeling, as universal as it is, can be transformed into something positive? This is where the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius shines a light on a powerful truth. When one door closes, another opens. Marcus Aurelius, along with other Stoic thinkers like Seneca and Epictetus, taught that life is full of obstacles. But these obstacles are not the end of the road. Instead, they are opportunities for growth, redirection, and the discovery of new paths. Stoicism, at its core, is about understanding that we might not have control over the events that happen to us, but we always have control over how we respond to those events. This Stoic principle is a game changer because it challenges us to shift our perspective from seeing obstacles as dead ends to viewing them as redirections. It's about embracing the idea that there's always another way, another path that we can take. This doesn't mean that the alternative path will be easy or straightforward. Sometimes it might require us to dig deep, to be creative, or to develop skills and strengths we didn't know we had. Let's consider the wisdom of other great minds in Western philosophy and psychology. Aristotle once said, "The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance." This idea resonates with the Stoic view of obstacles. It's not the external obstacle that defines our experience, but the significance we assign to it and the actions we take in response. Socrates, with his method of questioning, reminds us to interrogate our own beliefs about the obstacles we face. By questioning our assumptions, we can uncover new paths and solutions that were hidden by our initial reactions and emotions. This Stoic lesson, that another path is always open, is about more than just overcoming difficulties. It's about recognizing that life's challenges are an integral part of our journey. They shape us, test us, and ultimately lead us to our fullest potential. It's a reminder that we are always at choice, not in what happens to us, but in how we respond to what happens. Number 3, put people first. In a world that often measures success by what you have rather than what you give, Marcus Aurelius stands as a towering example of true leadership. Imagine being the most powerful man in the known world, where every luxury, every pleasure could easily be yours without a second thought. Yet, when faced with one of the most devastating crises of his time, a pandemic that threatened to wipe out a significant portion of his empire, Marcus chose a path that was radically different from what we might expect from someone of his stature. Instead of isolating himself in the comfort of his palace, surrounded by wealth and luxury, he took a step that was both bold and humbling. He began to sell off his own possessions, treasures that were not just valuable, but also symbols of imperial power and divine status. This wasn't a mere gesture. It was a lifeline thrown to a society struggling to survive, a society that looked up to him not just for leadership, but for compassion and hope. This act of selflessness is a vivid illustration of Stoicism in action. Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, was not just a theoretical guide for Marcus. It was a way of life. By prioritizing the welfare of his people over his own comfort, Marcus embodied the Stoic ideal that true wealth is not found in personal possessions, but in living a life of virtue and service to others. But Marcus Aurelius wasn't the only philosopher to espouse these values. Consider Aristotle, who believed that the essence of true happiness lies in living a life of virtuous activity in accordance with reason. He argued that real fulfillment comes from contributing to the community and living a life that transcends personal pleasure or material gain. Similarly, Plato emphasized the importance of the philosopher king, a ruler who, guided by wisdom and justice, puts the needs of the state and its citizens above his own desires. When we put people first, especially in times of crisis, we do more than just provide material support. We offer hope, solidarity, and a sense of shared humanity. This is the essence of leadership that Marcus Aurelius exemplifies, a leadership not rooted in authority or fear, but in empathy, sacrifice, and a profound commitment to the common good. Number 4, discard your anxiety. In the still moments of life, when the hustle and bustle fade into the background, we're often left with our thoughts, feelings, and for many of us, our anxieties. It's in these moments that Marcus Aurelius made a profound realization. Anxiety comes not from the world around us, but from within. This insight is not just a personal epiphany, but a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, teaching us that true peace comes from within, and that, to a large extent, anxiety is a choice. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what is within our control. The Stoics believe that while we might not have power over external events, we have control over our thoughts, perceptions, and reactions. This perspective empowers us to discard unnecessary worries and to cultivate a state of inner peace, regardless of external circumstances. But how can we practically apply this teaching in our lives? How do we discard anxiety and find true freedom? First, it's important to recognize that anxiety often stems from our desire to control the uncontrollable, from worrying about the future to stressing over how others perceive us. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that these concerns lie outside our sphere of control, and therefore should not occupy our minds or disturb our peace. Plato emphasized the importance of knowing oneself, suggesting that true knowledge leads to self-mastery. By understanding our thoughts and emotions, we can identify the root causes of our anxiety and address them with reason and clarity. Socrates championed the examined life, arguing that unreflective living is not worth living. By examining our anxieties, we can challenge their validity and transform our relationship with them. The process of discarding anxiety, as the Stoics teach, involves a shift in perspective. It requires us to let go of our attachment to things beyond our control and to focus instead on our responses. This doesn't mean ignoring our emotions or denying our feelings, but rather observing them with detachment and choosing not to let them dictate our peace. Number 5. Well begun is half done. Starting the day on the right foot can set the tone for everything that follows. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. Despite his immense responsibilities and the power he wielded, Marcus committed himself to routines that grounded him and prepared him for the day ahead. He didn't wake up early out of necessity, but out of a desire to start his day with purpose. He used journaling not just as a means of reflection, but as a tool to align his actions and thoughts with his values. This disciplined approach to mornings wasn't about rigid schedules. It was about ensuring that each day began with intentionality. The principle of well begun is half done is a testament to the importance of starting our tasks, our projects, and indeed our days in a manner that sets us up for success. It's a principle that transcends time, finding echoes in the wisdom of many other philosophers and psychologists throughout history. Aristotle once highlighted the significance of habits in shaping our character and our lives. He believed that excellence was not an act, but a habit. By beginning our day with routines that reflect our commitment to excellence, we cultivate the habits that lead to a virtuous and fulfilling life. It's not the grand gestures that define us, but the small, consistent actions we take every day. Plato taught us about the world of forms, where the ideal version of everything exists. While we might not reach that ideal, the act of striving towards it is what brings out the best in us. Starting our day with a clear intention is akin to orienting ourselves towards our own ideal form. Striving each day to be the best version of ourselves, by embracing the day with intention, we take control of our lives. We set a positive tone that influences everything we do. We remind ourselves of what's truly important and ensure that our actions throughout the day reflect our highest priorities and values. Number 6. Don't resent people. In the intricate tapestry of human relationships, encountering difficult people is inevitable. It's a universal challenge that can test our patience, disrupt our peace, and sometimes provoke resentment. However, Marcus Aurelius offers a transformative perspective on this challenge. He didn't see difficult people as mere obstacles, but as opportunities to cultivate and practice Stoic virtues such as patience, kindness, and understanding. This approach isn't just about managing external relationships. It's about an internal journey towards personal growth and self-mastery. Stoicism teaches us that our reactions to external events, including our interactions with others, are within our control. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that the actions of others should not disturb our inner peace or dictate our emotional state. Instead, encountering difficult people should be viewed as a chance to strengthen our character, practice the virtues that Stoicism holds dear, and rise above petty grievances or annoyances. This doesn't mean condoning negative behavior or allowing ourselves to be mistreated. It means choosing a response that aligns with our values and our commitment to personal excellence. Carl Jung introduced the concept of the shadow self, suggesting that the traits we dislike in others often reflect parts of ourselves that we haven't fully accepted. By recognizing this projection, we can turn encounters with difficult people into moments of self-reflection and growth, learning to embrace the full spectrum of our humanity. Marcus Aurelius's approach to not resenting people, but rather seeing them as opportunities to practice Stoic virtues, invites us to elevate our interactions and our responses to challenging situations. It encourages us to rise above the immediate impulse of resentment, to cultivate a deeper sense of patience, kindness, and understanding. This path not only leads to more harmonious relationships, but also to a richer, more virtuous life. Number 7. Be strict with yourself. Navigating the journey of self-improvement and personal growth requires a delicate balance between compassion for others and discipline for oneself. This balance is beautifully encapsulated in the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, who emphasized the importance of being lenient with others while being strict with oneself. This Stoic principle underscores the essence of self-discipline, urging us to take responsibility for our actions, thoughts, and growth without projecting our expectations onto others. The path to self-discipline is undeniably a solo journey. It's a personal commitment to uphold higher standards for ourselves, to relentlessly pursue self-control, and to continuously strive for self-improvement. This isn't about setting unrealistic expectations or being harsh and unforgiving towards ourselves. Rather, it's about recognizing our potential for growth and making a conscious effort to move closer to our ideal selves every day. Marcus Aurelius practiced what he preached. His reflections, documented in his meditations, reveal a man deeply committed to self-examination, virtue, and the pursuit of wisdom. He understood that true progress comes from within, and that we have the power to cultivate peace, virtue, and resilience through disciplined thought and action. This Stoic ethos of self-discipline is echoed in the teachings of other great philosophers and psychologists. Aristotle spoke of virtue as a mean between two extremes, achieved through habituation. He believed that by consistently choosing the virtuous path, we could develop a character marked by excellence. Applying this to self-discipline, it's about finding the balance between excess and deficiency, pushing ourselves to grow while also being mindful of our limits. Being strict with oneself, as advocated by Marcus Aurelius, is not about punishment or deprivation. It's about holding ourselves to a higher standard, recognizing our capacity for improvement and taking the necessary steps to actualize our potential. It's about making choices that align with our deepest values, even when they require sacrifice or effort. At the same time, Marcus's advice to be lenient with others reminds us of the importance of empathy, understanding, and compassion. It acknowledges that everyone is on their own journey, facing their own challenges and learning their own lessons. By focusing on our growth without imposing our standards on others, we cultivate not only self-discipline, but also kindness and respect for the diverse paths that people take. Number 8. Ask yourself, is this essential? In our fast-paced modern world, bombarded by endless tasks, notifications, and demands on our attention, the question posed by Marcus Aurelius, is this essential, becomes not just relevant but vital. This question invites us to pause, reflect, and discern the essential from the non-essential, guiding us toward a life of purpose and meaning. Marcus championed the idea of focusing on what truly matters, advocating for a life not led by the chaos of external demands, but by the clarity of internal values. This Stoic principle of prioritization and concentration on the essential is a powerful tool for navigating the complexities of contemporary life. The wisdom of focusing on the essential is echoed across the ages by other great minds in Western philosophy and psychology. Aristotle spoke of the golden mean, the desirable middle between two extremes, one of excess and the other of deficiency. Applying this concept to our daily choices and commitments, we find balance by pursuing activities that are essential for our fulfillment and well-being, avoiding the extremes of overcommitment and apathy. Plato emphasized the pursuit of the good, the true, and the beautiful, ideals that should guide our actions and choices. By asking if something is essential, we align our lives with these higher ideals, ensuring that our actions contribute to our ultimate goals of wisdom, virtue, and beauty. Carl Jung, delving into the depths of the human psyche, highlighted the process of individuation, becoming who we truly are. By concentrating on what is essential, we peel away the layers of societal expectations and superficial desires, getting closer to our authentic selves and the unique path each of us is meant to walk. Amor fati, the love of one's fate, is a call to embrace everything that life throws our way, the good and the bad, with acceptance and enthusiasm. Instead of resisting or lamenting the challenges we face, we learn to see them as opportunities for growth. Number 9. Remember these mantras. Amor fati teaches us to love them, to see them as necessary parts of our journey. Marcus Aurelius, who faced numerous adversities during his reign, embodied this principle by accepting and making the best of his circumstances, no matter how dire. This Stoic mantra echoes the wisdom of other philosophers like Aristotle, who taught that virtue and happiness are found in the acceptance and excellent pursuit of one's life's conditions, not in the conditions themselves. The Stoics believe that, as social beings, our well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of our community. Focusing on contributing to the common good is about recognizing our interconnectedness and our responsibility to each other. It's a call to live ethically, to contribute positively to society, and to consider the impact of our actions on others. Plato's vision of an ideal society where each individual plays their part for the greater good reflects this Stoic value. It reminds us that true fulfillment comes not from self-centered pursuits, but from our contributions to the lives of others. Perhaps one of the most powerful Stoic reminders is memento mori, the practice of reflecting on our mortality. Far from being morbid, this mantra is a powerful motivator to live our lives fully, to prioritize what truly matters, and to let go of trivial concerns. Marcus Aurelius, and indeed all Stoics, saw the awareness of death as a tool to cherish life and to make the most of the present moment. This perspective is shared by Socrates, who saw an unexamined life as not worth living, implying that a life lived without awareness of its finitude misses its depth and meaning. Integrating these Stoic mantras into our lives invites us to live with greater purpose, resilience, and joy. Amor Fati encourages us to accept and find value in everything that happens to us, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth. The focus on contributing to the common good extends our pursuit of happiness beyond our personal needs, enriching our lives through the well-being of others. Memento mori serves as a poignant reminder to focus on the essential, to love deeply, act kindly, and live meaningfully, aware that our time is finite. Did you know that the secret to transforming your life's biggest challenges into your greatest opportunities might have been discovered over 2,000 years ago? Imagine facing life's storms with a calm so powerful that nothing could shake your inner peace. Sounds like a superpower, right? Well, it's not just a fantasy. This ancient superpower is an age-old philosophy that's as practical today as it was in the bustling markets and marble halls of ancient Rome and Greece. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control every aspect of our lives, we have absolute power over how we choose to react. And in today's world, where uncertainty seems to be the only certainty, these teachings could be the anchor we've all been searching for. So, whether you're dealing with stress, facing adversity, or simply looking to find more joy in the everyday, stick around. Today, we're diving deep into Stoicism, uncovering its timeless wisdom and discovering how it can transform not just the way we think, but the way we live. 1. Focusing on what's in your control. Have you ever found yourself stuck in traffic, fuming over the delay, or scrolling through your phone only to get upset over a negative comment someone left on your post? It happens to the best of us. It's almost like our day-to-day life is filled with these little tests, challenging our mood and peace of mind at every turn. But here's a game-changing perspective from the world of Stoicism that can turn all that frustration on its head. Stoicism, this incredible philosophy that dates back to ancient Greece and Rome, hands us a powerful tool, focusing on what's in our control. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about that for a second. Traffic, bad weather, negative comments, these are all outside our control. We can't change them, no matter how much we wish we could. What we can change, however, is how we react to them. This idea isn't just ancient wisdom, it's backed by modern psychology too. Carl Jung, a giant in the field of psychology, famously stated, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." This aligns perfectly with this practice. It's about recognizing that the only real power we have is over our own reactions, thoughts, and actions. Let's break it down a bit. Say you're in that traffic jam, late for an important meeting. You can spend that time stewing in anger, honking your horn and stressing out, which, let's be honest, won't make the cars ahead move any faster. Or you can take a deep breath, accept the situation, and maybe use the time to listen to a podcast, an audiobook, or simply enjoy some music. The traffic hasn't changed, but your response to it has. And with that shift, your stress levels drop, and your day looks a bit brighter. This principle of focusing on what you can control extends far beyond just dealing with traffic or weather. It applies to our personal goals, our reactions to others, and our approach to obstacles in life. As Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic heavyweight, reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So, next time you find yourself getting worked up over something outside your control, remember these wise words from our friends. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, let it go. Focus on your reaction, your mindset, and your actions. This simple shift can have a profound impact on your stress levels and overall happiness. It's not always easy, but it's worth practicing every day. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. And as we learn to focus more on what's in our control, we'll find ourselves not just surviving life's challenges, but thriving in spite of them. 2. Embracing obstacles as opportunities. Stoicism teaches us the art of embracing obstacles as opportunities. It sounds counterintuitive, right? Most of us are programmed to view obstacles as just that, barriers to our success and happiness. But Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus flip this narrative on its head. They tell us, when life throws you a curveball, instead of asking, why me? Ask, what can I learn? This is a game changer. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, penned in his personal writings, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. What he means here is that every obstacle, no matter how daunting, not only tests our resilience, but also teaches us valuable lessons. It's about finding the silver lining in tough situations and using it to fuel our growth. This perspective isn't just ancient philosophy, it's backed by modern thinkers too. The famous psychologist Carl Jung said, "What you resist persists." By fighting against obstacles, we give them more power over us. But by accepting and learning from them, we can overcome them. This mindset is about transforming challenges into stepping stones towards becoming stronger and wiser. Let's make it practical. Say you're facing rejection from job applications. It's easy to fall into a spiral of self-pity and doubt. But what if you viewed each rejection as feedback? Maybe there's a skill you need to improve, or a new strategy for your job search. That shift in perspective can turn a series of rejections into a path for professional development. Another example is personal conflicts. They're uncomfortable and stressful, but they also offer a chance to practice patience, empathy, and communication skills. Every disagreement is an opportunity to understand different viewpoints and refine our conflict resolution abilities. The essence of embracing obstacles as opportunities lies in asking ourselves, what can this situation teach me? Instead of being passive victims of circumstance, we become active learners and problem solvers. This doesn't mean that facing obstacles becomes easy, but it does mean that we approach them with a mindset geared toward growth and learning. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the heart of Stoicism. It's about seeing beyond the immediate pain or frustration of an obstacle and finding the lessons and opportunities it presents. So, when you're faced with a challenge, big or small, try to pause and reframe it. Ask yourself what you can learn from the situation and how it can make you stronger and wiser. Remember, Obstacles aren't just hurdles to overcome, they're opportunities to grow. By adopting this mindset, we can navigate life's ups and downs with more grace, resilience, and wisdom. 3. Living in the present moment. It's something we hear about all the time, right? Live in the now. But what does that really mean, and why is it so important? Living in the present moment is about fully embracing and experiencing where you are at this very second, not letting your mind wander off to the worries of tomorrow or the regrets of yesterday. It's about realizing that life, with all its beauty, challenges, and surprises, happens in the now. This concept isn't new. It's been a cornerstone of philosophy, echoed by great minds like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and reiterated by modern psychologists and thinkers. Let's start with the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." He understood that the power of living in the present lies in its ability to ground us, to clear our minds of distractions, and to allow us to appreciate the richness of life as it unfolds. But why is it so hard to stay present? Our minds are often cluttered with thoughts, worries about what's next, or replaying things that have already happened. This constant mental noise pulls us away from the beauty and potential of the here and now. As the famous psychologist Carl Jung put it, the least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. Living in the present moment gives meaning to the small, everyday experiences, enriching our lives beyond measure. Aristotle talked about the importance of being mindful of the present to achieve eudaimonia, or a state of being happy, healthy, and prosperous. He believed that by focusing on the here and now, we could live a virtuous life, making the most of our human experience. So, how can we practice living in the present? It starts with mindfulness. The art of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you eat, savor each bite. When you walk, notice the feeling of the ground under your feet. Listen actively when someone is speaking to you, instead of planning what you're going to say next. These simple acts of mindfulness bring us back to the present, making our lives richer and more meaningful. Seneca offered this wisdom. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. He understood that anxiety about what's to come or what has been only serves to diminish our happiness in the now. Living in the present isn't about ignoring the future or forgetting the past. It's about finding a balance where we learn from our past and plan for our future, without letting those activities consume our present. It's in this balance that we find peace and contentment. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to reset and refocus on the now. It's in the present that we live, love, and make memories. So, let's make a conscious effort to be more present in our lives. Let's cherish the now, for this moment, right here, is where life truly happens. 4. Building self-discipline. I know the word self-discipline might bring to mind images of rigid schedules and a life devoid of fun, but let's reshape that picture together. Self-discipline is not about restricting your life. It's about empowering yourself to make choices that align with your deepest values and long-term aspirations. It's choosing what's right for you, not what's easy in the moment. At its core, building self-discipline is about mastery over ourselves. It's about saying yes to things that serve us and no to things that don't, even when it's tough. Think about it, whether it's sticking to a workout routine, saving money instead of impulse buying, or turning off Netflix to focus on a project. These choices might not deliver instant gratification, but they pave the way for long-term satisfaction and success. Stoic philosophy has a lot to say about self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful statement highlights the essence of self-discipline. It's about controlling our impulses, emotions, and actions despite the external temptations and distractions that life throws our way. Seneca offers wisdom on the subject too. He advises us to be steadfast and control our desires, rather than being controlled by them. He understood that true freedom comes from within, from our ability to govern ourselves and our appetites. But why is self-discipline so critical? Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, sheds light on this. He believed that we achieve excellence and virtue through habit. By practicing self-discipline, we cultivate habits that lead us toward our best selves. It's not about occasional acts of willpower, but about consistently making choices that reflect our values and goals. Building self-discipline also ties into modern psychological understanding. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our personality to live fully. This integration requires self-discipline, as we must navigate the desires of different parts of our psyche, choosing paths that contribute to our overall well-being and growth. So, how can we build self-discipline in our daily lives? Start small. Pick one area you want to improve, whether it's your diet, exercise routine, or spending habits. Set clear, achievable goals and take it one day at a time. Remember, every time you make a choice that aligns with your goals, you're building the muscle of self-discipline. Epictetus reminds us, no great thing is created suddenly. Self-discipline is built through small, consistent actions. It's about progress, not perfection. Every day presents new opportunities to practice self-discipline, to choose actions that move us closer to who we want to be. Building self-discipline is a journey. It's about finding balance between what we want now and what we want most. It's about making choices that might be hard in the moment, but will bring us closer to our goals, happiness, and peace in the long run. No, let's commit to this journey together, supporting one another and choosing what's right, not what's easy. Remember, in the realm of self-discipline lies the path to achieving our dreams and living in the life we truly love. 5. Developing emotional resilience. When life throws its curveballs, we all experience a whirlwind of emotions. Feeling angry, sad, or frustrated is a natural part of being human. But here's the kicker. It's not just about the emotions we feel. It's about how we handle them. That's where the magic of emotional resilience comes in. Emotional resilience is like this superpower that allows us to navigate through life's storms with grace and come out stronger on the other side. It's about acknowledging our emotions, understanding them, and then taking positive steps to move forward, rather than being swept away by the tide of our feelings. The Stoics had a lot to say about this. Marcus Aurelius, for example, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This profound insight touches the essence of emotional resilience. It's about recognizing that while we might not have control over what happens to us, we have control over how we respond. Our emotions don't have to control our actions. Seneca offers wisdom on facing adversity without losing our composure. He teaches that life's hardships are tests of our character and resilience. By facing our feelings with understanding and patience, we can grow wiser and more robust. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. Aristotle spoke about the golden mean, finding the balance between excess and deficiency. This concept applies beautifully to emotional resilience. It's about finding a balanced response to our emotions, not suppressing them or letting them overpower us. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our psyche to achieve wholeness. Part of this process involves confronting our emotions, understanding them, and learning from them. This is at the heart of developing emotional resilience. So, what can you do when you're in the grip of strong emotions? First, give yourself permission to feel. Acknowledge your emotions without judgment. Then, take a step back and try to understand what triggered these feelings. This reflection can provide valuable insights into your emotional patterns and triggers. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a powerful reminder that our reactions to our emotions can shape our experiences. Instead of being reactive, we can choose to respond in a way that is constructive and healing. Developing emotional resilience is a journey. It involves practicing mindfulness, self-reflection, and patience. It's about building a toolkit of coping strategies, like journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or practicing relaxation techniques. Most importantly, it's about treating yourself with kindness and compassion as you navigate through your emotions. Emotional resilience is not about never feeling negative emotions. It's about learning to ride the waves of those emotions with grace and coming out on the other side stronger and more self-aware. By developing emotional resilience, we empower ourselves to face life's challenges with courage and poise. Let's embrace this journey together, supporting each other and becoming more emotionally resilient, and ultimately living a more fulfilling life. 6. Memento mori. Remember, you will pass away. The Stoics used this concept not to create fear, but to inspire a deeper appreciation for every moment. They believed that by keeping the inevitability of death in mind, we would live more fully, consciously, and with gratitude for the present. Marcus Aurelius in his meditations often reflected on the transience of life, encouraging us to live in a way that's true to our values and to make the most of the time we're given. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think, he wrote. This isn't about being morose. It's a call to action, a reminder to focus on what truly matters, to let go of petty concerns, and to live with purpose and integrity. Seneca, too, spoke about the shortness of life, urging us not to waste time on trivialities, but to focus on creating a meaningful existence. He believed that being mindful of death encourages us to live more wisely and to cherish our relationships and experiences. Epictetus emphasized the importance of focusing on the present and making the best use of our time. By remembering that we won't live forever, we're more likely to live ethically and to appreciate the beauty and richness of life. How can we incorporate memento mori into our own lives without it feeling like a dark cloud over our heads? It starts with shifting our perspective. Instead of seeing the awareness of death as something fearful, we can view it as a powerful motivator to live our lives to the fullest. It's about embracing the present, not postponing our dreams or happiness for some undefined future that's not guaranteed. Think about the things you've been putting off. Maybe it's pursuing a passion, reconnecting with loved ones, or simply taking time to appreciate the small joys of everyday life. Memento mori reminds us not to take our time for granted. It encourages us to live more authentically, to say what we mean, to love openly, and to be present in our lives. This concept also teaches us to appreciate the impermanence of life, which in turn deepens our gratitude for the moments we have. When we remember that our time is limited, we're more likely to cherish our experiences, to live more mindfully, and to express our gratitude for the people and moments that enrich our lives. So, let's use memento mori, not as a source of fear, but as a catalyst for growth, gratitude, and a deeper appreciation of life. Let it remind us to make choices that align with our deepest values, to cherish our relationships, and to savor the beauty of the present moment. Remembering that we will die one day encourages us to live more fully today. In embracing memento mori, we find a powerful reminder to live, not in fear of death, but in celebration of life. Let's make every moment count, not because we're afraid of its end, but because we're in love with life itself. Let's live in a way that, when our time does come, we can look back with no regrets, knowing we lived fully, loved deeply, and appreciated the incredible journey that life is. 7. Practicing gratitude. It's fascinating how such a simple concept can profoundly impact our lives. Gratitude is about shifting our focus to what we have, rather than dwelling on what we're missing. This practice can be a real game changer, especially on those days that feel like an uphill battle. The Stoics, wise as they were, had a lot to say about gratitude. They believed that happiness doesn't come from having more, but from appreciating what we already have. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of focusing on the present and finding joy in the simple things. He said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This is gratitude in its purest form, recognizing the value of life itself and the many gifts it offers us each day. Seneca talked about how our desires can lead us astray, always chasing after more and never finding true satisfaction. He suggested that by focusing on what we have and understanding that the best things in life are already within our grasp, we can find real contentment. Epictetus, known for his followers to appreciate their current circumstances, whatever they might be, he believed that by accepting and finding value in our present situation, we could live a more fulfilled life. But how do we practice gratitude, especially when life throws curveballs our way? It starts with making it a daily habit. Each morning or evening, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a conversation with a friend, or the beauty of a sunset. This practice helps rewire our brains to focus on the positive, boosting our mood and overall outlook on life. Gratitude also means embracing challenges and finding lessons within them. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective helps us appreciate our experiences, both good and bad, as valuable steps on our journey. Moreover, practicing gratitude helps us build stronger connections with others. By expressing appreciation for the people in our lives, we not only brighten their day, but also strengthen our own resilience. A simple thank you can go a long way in showing someone that they're valued and loved. Aristotle spoke about the importance of recognizing the good in our lives and striving for a virtuous life. He believed that gratitude was key to achieving eudaimonia, or true happiness, as it allows us to appreciate the goodness around us and within ourselves. Even modern psychology supports the benefits of gratitude. Studies show that people who practice gratitude regularly experience less anxiety, sleep better, and have a more positive outlook on life. As Carl Jung said, the word happiness would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. By acknowledging and being grateful for the full spectrum of our experiences, we find a deeper, more authentic form of happiness. So let's make gratitude a cornerstone of our daily lives. Let's celebrate the small victories, cherish the moments of connection, and find joy in the simple pleasures. By focusing on what we have, not on what we're missing, we can cultivate a sense of abundance and happiness that shines from within. Remember, it's not happiness that brings us gratitude, it's gratitude that brings us happiness. Let's fill our glasses half full, raise them high, and toast to the beauty of gratitude in our lives. Cheers to finding the silver lining, even on the cloudiest of days. 8. Focusing on personal excellence. The Stoics had a profound understanding of personal excellence. They believed that excellence, or virtue, is the sole good, and that everything we do should aim toward living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, is a prime example of someone who strived for personal excellence. He once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This simple yet powerful statement encapsulates the essence of personal excellence. It's about embodying the values we admire and striving to live by them every day. Seneca emphasized the importance of self-improvement and continuous learning. He advocated for a life lived in accordance with nature and reason, suggesting that true excellence comes from within and is reflected in our actions and choices. Epictetus highlighted the role of personal responsibility in achieving excellence. He taught that our reactions, emotions, and will are within our control, and mastering them is key to living a life of virtue. But what does focusing on personal excellence look like in our day-to-day lives? It starts with setting personal standards based on our values and aspirations, not on societal expectations or the achievements of others. It's about knowing who we are, understanding our strengths and weaknesses, and taking consistent steps toward improvement. Personal excellence is also about resilience. It's about how we respond to setbacks and failures, not just our successes. As Aristotle said, excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. This means embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than seeing them as obstacles. Moreover, focusing on personal excellence involves cultivating a growth mindset, a concept championed by modern psychology. It's the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset encourages us to embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and see effort as a path to mastery. Personal excellence also means living authentically. It's about being true to ourselves and our values, even when it's not easy. It's about making choices that reflect who we are and who we want to be, and taking pride in our journey, including both the struggles and the triumphs. Practicing gratitude, as we discussed earlier, ties into personal excellence too. By appreciating what we have and where we are on our journey, we foster a positive outlook that supports our growth and well-being. So let's commit to focusing on personal excellence. Let's set our own standards, embrace our unique paths, and take pride in our progress. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being proud of who we are and how we live. It's about celebrating our efforts, learning from our experiences, and always striving to be the best versions of ourselves. Together, let's make personal excellence not just a goal, but a way of life. 9. Not caring what others think. In a world saturated with social media, where likes, follows, and comments often dictate self-worth, it's easy to fall into the trap of valuing ourselves through the lens of others' opinions. But here's a liberating truth. Your worth isn't based on external validation. It's about being true to yourself, embracing your authenticity, and living in alignment with your values. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers we often turn to for timeless wisdom, had much to say about this. They taught that our inner peace and freedom come from focusing on what's within our control, our actions, our thoughts, and our integrity, not the ever-changing opinions of others. Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinions of others." This striking observation highlights a paradox many of us live with, valuing others' judgments over our own self-assessment. Seneca echoed this sentiment by emphasizing the importance of living a life true to one's self, not ones shaped by the expectations or approval of others. He believed that true contentment comes from within, from living a life that aligns with our principles and values. Epictetus taught that worrying about others' opinions is outside our control and therefore not worth our energy. He encouraged focusing instead on our own actions and on living virtuously, as that's where our true power lies. So, how can we start caring less about what others think and more about being true to ourselves? First, understand that you are the author of your life story. You have the power to define your worth, not society, not your social media followers, nor the people around you. Ground your self-esteem in who you are, the values you stand for, the kindness you spread, and the effort you put into being your best self. Second, practice self-reflection. Ask yourself, whose life am I living? Am I making choices based on my desires, or am I trying to fit into someone else's mold? Reflecting on these questions can help realign your actions with your true self. Third, embrace vulnerability. Being true to yourself means being open about your flaws and all, understanding that we are reflections of our progress, making mistakes and learning from them. This authenticity attracts the right people into your life, those who appreciate the real you. Moreover, remember the words of Aristotle, who spoke about the golden mean, finding balance in life. Applying this to our concern for others' opinions means finding a healthy balance between considering constructive feedback and maintaining our autonomy and self-worth. Incorporating a Stoic mindset into our lives means understanding that our worth is determined by our virtues, our actions, and our commitment to living a meaningful life, not by external accolades or approval. It's about building a strong inner fortress that remains unshaken by the fleeting opinions of others. Let's commit to valuing ourselves for who we truly are, not for the likes, follows, or approval we receive. Let's be courageous in our authenticity, living lives that resonate with our deepest truths. Remember, your worth is inherent and unique. By being true to yourself, you shine your light in the most genuine way possible. Let's not just navigate life, but thrive in it, with the confidence that comes from knowing we are living authentically, aligned with our values, and true to ourselves. 10. Accepting change. Here's the thing, accepting change is not just necessary, it's vital for our growth and happiness. The reality is, the only constant in life is change. Learning to go with the flow and embrace life's inevitable shifts makes navigating them less scary and more of an adventure. The Stoics had an incredibly healthy perspective on change. They saw it as a natural part of the universe's rhythm. Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" This profound acceptance of change as part of life's fabric helps us understand that each change, whether we perceive it as good or bad, has its place in our story. Seneca taught that becoming too attached to our current circumstances can lead to disappointment because inevitably those circumstances will change. He advised us to be flexible and to understand that change is not just a part of life, but a necessary component of our personal development and happiness. Epictetus encouraged us to distinguish between what we can control and what we can't. While we can't control our attitudes towards them, this mindset is incredibly empowering when it comes to dealing with change. It's about focusing on our responses, finding opportunities for growth within the change, and moving forward with resilience. But how can we become more accepting of change? First, by acknowledging that change is inevitable. It's the natural order of things. Everything around us is in a constant state of flux. Seasons change, people come and go, and our very selves are renewing themselves as we speak. Embracing change means embracing life itself. Second, by practicing mindfulness. Being present in the moment allows us to appreciate our current experiences without clinging to them. This awareness creates space for acceptance when those experiences inevitably evolve or come to an end. Third, by seeking the lessons in change. Every shift in our lives, no matter how challenging, comes with opportunities to learn and grow. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective can turn the challenges of change into stepping stones for personal development. Aristotle spoke about the importance of pursuing a virtuous life as the key to happiness. A part of virtue is adaptability, the ability to navigate life's changes with grace and wisdom. It's about finding balance and harmony within the flux of life. Modern psychology supports this Stoic approach to change. Viewing change as an opportunity rather than a threat can significantly reduce stress and anxiety levels. It enhances our resilience, making us better equipped to handle whatever life throws our way. Let's remind ourselves that change is not just something to endure, but to welcome as a natural, enriching part of our journey. By accepting change, we open ourselves to new experiences, growth, and the beautiful unfolding of our unique paths in life. Remember, going with the flow isn't about passivity. It's about actively engaging with life in its full dynamic complexity. Let's navigate the currents of change with courage, grace, and a heart open to the endless possibilities that change brings. 11. Practicing compassion and empathy. Despite our differences, we're all in this together, navigating the complex journey of life. By fostering an understanding and caring attitude toward others, we contribute to making the world a kinder, more loving place. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who continue to enlighten us with their timeless wisdom, placed great importance on the virtues of compassion and empathy. They believed in the interconnectedness of all humans and taught that kindness and understanding toward others are essential aspects of living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, reminded us that human beings are social creatures by nature, meant to live in harmony and cooperation with one another. He said, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." This beautifully illustrates the idea that our well-being is intrinsically linked to the well-being of others. Seneca emphasized the importance of treating others with kindness and generosity. He argued that compassion is a natural human instinct, and that by helping others, we also help ourselves. In his writings, Seneca encourages us to extend our empathy, even to those who have wronged us, understanding that they too are acting out of their own struggles and limitations. Epictetus taught that we should strive to understand others' perspectives, recognizing that everyone has their reasons for their actions. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather approaching others with a mindset of empathy, seeking to understand their experiences and viewpoints. But how can we practice compassion and empathy in our daily lives? It starts with listening, truly listening, to the stories, experiences, and feelings of those around us. It's about putting ourselves in their shoes, imagining their struggles, their joys, their fears, and their hopes. This act of understanding can bridge the gap between us, fostering a sense of connection and shared humanity. Another way to cultivate compassion and empathy is through acts of kindness, no matter how small. A smile, a kind word, a listening ear, these can all make a significant difference in someone's day. By being present and attentive to others, we signal that they matter, that their feelings and experiences are valid and important. Practicing compassion and empathy also means being there for others in times of need, offering support and understanding without judgment. It's about recognizing the value and dignity of every person, regardless of our differences. The ancient philosopher Aristotle spoke about the importance of friendship and the role of empathy in building strong, meaningful relationships. He believed that true friends not only share in each other's joys, but also in their sorrows, supporting each other with empathy and understanding. Modern psychology supports the Stoic emphasis on compassion and empathy, showing that these virtues not only enhance our relationships, but also our own emotional well-being. By caring for others, we foster a sense of belonging, purpose, and happiness in our own lives. Let's remind ourselves that behind every face is a story. Behind every action is a reason. By understanding and caring for each other, we make the world a kinder, gentler place. In doing so, we not only enrich the lives of those around us, but also find deeper fulfillment and joy in our own lives. Together, let's spread kindness like confetti, creating ripples of compassion that transform the world. One act of empathy at a time. 12. Reflecting and reviewing regularly. This is about taking a pause, a real, meaningful pause, to look back on our actions, our thoughts, and the paths we've tread. It's about growth, introspection, and aligning our lives with our deepest values. In a world that's always rushing forward, this practice is our anchor, ensuring we're not just being swept away, but are sailing in the direction that's true to us. The Stoics, with their profound insights into human nature, placed immense value on the practice of reflection. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, which we now treasure as meditations, offered a model of this practice. He didn't just rule an empire, he took the time to examine his life, his decisions, and his moral compass through writing. He saw this reflection as essential to living a life of virtue and purpose. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, he wrote, reminding us that our internal dialogue shapes our external reality. Seneca recommended regular self-assessment as a way to foster self-improvement and wisdom. He likened life to a play, suggesting that we periodically review our roles and performances. Are we acting in harmony with the character we wish to embody? Are our actions reflective of the script we value? The script of our lives? Epictetus encouraged his students to end each day with a review of their actions and attitudes. This wasn't about self-criticism, but about self-awareness and growth. He urged us to ask ourselves, what did I do well? What did I do wrong? What duties were left undone? Through such questions, we can steer our lives more consciously, making adjustments that bring us closer to our ideals. But how do we incorporate this practice of reflection and review into our modern lives? First, by making it a habit. Dedicate a few minutes each day, perhaps before bedtime, to reflect on your day. What were your victories? Where did you face challenges, and how did you respond? This practice can start as a mental exercise, but writing it down can enhance its benefits, giving you a tangible record of your journey. Second, use reflection as a tool for gratitude. In reviewing your day, also take note of the moments, no matter how small, that brought you joy or gratitude. This balances our natural tendency to focus on the negative, cultivating a more positive outlook on life. Third, approach this practice with kindness and compassion toward yourself. Reflection is not about berating yourself for mistakes, but about recognizing them as opportunities for learning and growth. Be as understanding and supportive to yourself as you would be to a dear friend. Aristotle spoke about the importance of living a reflective life. He believed that true wisdom comes from understanding ourselves, our actions, and our place in the world. This reflection is the essence of living an examined life, one that's in accordance with virtue and excellence. In modern psychology, the benefits of regular reflection are well documented, showing improvements in mental health, clarity of purpose, and personal growth. Reflecting on our experiences helps us process emotions, learn from our actions, and make more informed decisions moving forward. Let's commit to this practice of reflecting and reviewing regularly. Let it be our guidepost, ensuring that we are not just passively experiencing life, but actively shaping it according to our values. By taking the time to look back, we gain the insight needed to move forward more aligned, more aware, and more in tune with the essence of who we are and who we aspire to be. Ever felt like life is pulling you in a million different directions, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to find your footing? Well, you're not alone. Right now, across the globe, millions are feeling overwhelmed, not by a lack of dreams, but by the chaos of everyday demands that cloud their true potential. Today we're going to strip back the layers of noise and rediscover clarity through the lens of Stoicism, a philosophy that has empowered thinkers and leaders for centuries to face life's turbulence with calm and resilience. Now, if you find yourself nodding along, thinking, yes, that's exactly what I need, then I'm glad you're here. And if you appreciate what we're doing, showing a little love by hitting that subscribe button won't cost a thing, but will mean the world to us. Stick with me through this journey today, because every single moment of this video is packed with insights that could just be the answer you've been looking for. Together we'll explore timeless Stoic strategies to reset, restart, and refocus. Because sometimes, all you need to change your life is to view it from a new perspective. Let's dive in. Let's talk about a concept that might seem simple on the surface, but is incredibly transformative once you dive deep. Reset. Specifically, I want to focus on the idea of clearing the clutter. It's a powerful metaphor, isn't it? Just saying it out loud feels like a breath of fresh air. Now, when you think of clutter, you might picture a desk buried under piles of papers, or a closet stuffed to the brim with clothes you haven't worn in years. But I'm not just talking about physical clutter. I'm talking about the mental and emotional clutter that piles up in our lives, often without us even noticing. I'm talking about the mental and emotional clutter that piles up in our lives, often without us even noticing. Here's a personal story for you. A while back, I found myself feeling unusually stressed and anxious. I was meeting deadlines, hitting my targets, doing all the right things, but something felt off. My mind felt cluttered, like an attic filled with old boxes. Boxes of worries, doubts, and old grudges I couldn't seem to throw out. I needed a reset, not just superficially but deeply. The Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius often spoke about the importance of simplifying life to see clearly. They believed in discarding not just unnecessary physical possessions, but also unnecessary thoughts and emotions that complicate our lives. This Stoic principle became my guiding light. I began by asking myself tough questions, the kind that make you pause and really think. What am I holding on to that no longer serves me? What fears are just old habits in disguise? This process of questioning is like sorting through that attic. Each item, each thought, each emotion needs to be picked up, examined, and then, most importantly, decided upon. Do I keep it? Do I let it go? This is where the real clearing starts. It's about recognizing that some worries are just noise, distractions from what truly matters. They don't need to be in my space, in my head, or in my heart. Resetting is about making space for new growth, new experiences. It's like preparing a garden at the start of spring. You clear out the dead leaves and weeds, not because the work is fun, but because you know it's necessary. For new life to thrive, the Stoics remind us that every new day brings with it a chance to start afresh, to realign with our values and our goals. They teach us that freedom comes not from external achievements, but from internal balance and peace. As I embarked on this journey of clearing out, I started small. I tackled one box at a time. One week I focused on letting go of a grudge. Another week it was about dialing back the self-doubt, turning down the volume on that critical inner voice that said, "You can't do this." Each act of letting go felt like a weight lifting off my shoulders. Now, let me ask you, what's cluttering your mind? What's taking up space in your life that no longer serves a positive purpose? Maybe it's resentment over a past failure, or anxiety about an uncertain future. Maybe it's the unrealistic standards you set for yourself, or the toxic relationships that drain your energy. Imagine if you started clearing that clutter. Imagine the freedom, the lightness, the room to breathe and grow. It's not just about removing the bad, but about making space for the good, for something better. This isn't about denying your past experiences, but about choosing not to let them define or limit you anymore. And here's the thing about resetting. It's not a one-time event. It's a continuous process, a habit you develop. Each day is a new opportunity to clear away what doesn't belong and reinforce what does. It's about building resilience, about learning to bounce back faster and stronger because you're not weighed down by unnecessary baggage. So, as you listen to this, think about what you can reset in your life today. It doesn't have to be big. Start small. Maybe it's deciding to forgive someone, to forgive yourself, or to set aside a worry that's been nagging at you. Remember, each piece of clutter you clear makes room for something invaluable. Peace of mind, clarity, and the strength to face whatever comes next. As the Stoics would say, the obstacle in the path becomes the path. Every challenge, every bit of clutter we clear, shapes us, molds us into the people we are meant to be. So let's reset, not just once, but as a way of life. Let's make it count. Because in the clarity of a decluttered mind and heart lies the power to craft a truly fulfilling life. Now, let's tackle the concept of restart. This is where the real grit of life comes into play. It's about picking yourself up after you've been knocked down, dusting yourself off, and stepping back into the ring. It's a test of courage, a true measure of your resilience. And let me tell you, it's not for the faint of heart, but it is for everyone. We all face moments when the easiest thing to do would be to give up. But here's where Stoic wisdom shines through, teaching us that every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. There was a time in my life when I hit rock bottom. I had faced a major setback in my career, and everything I had worked so hard for seemed to crumble right before my eyes. It felt like standing amidst the ruins of a once glorious castle that I had built, brick by brick. The temptation to just sit in the rubble was overwhelming. But here's the kicker. The Stoics say, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. And that's what I did. I made my obstacle my way forward. Restarting isn't about brushing off your failures as if they're nothing. No, it's about acknowledging them, learning from them. It's about looking your failures in the eye and saying, "You can't keep me down." Because the truth is, every failure is ripe with potential to teach us something invaluable, something that success never could. I asked myself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? The answers to those questions were the first steps I took toward my restart. I started by setting small, manageable goals. It wasn't about reclaiming all my lost ground in a day. Instead, it was about moving forward one small step at a time. Each step, no matter how small, was a victory. It was a defiance of failure, a testament to my resilience. And with each step, my journey forward gathered momentum. But let's be real, restarting can be daunting. You're not always going to have clear direction. That's where the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, comes in. It's about visualizing the worst-case scenarios and preparing for them. Not to be pessimistic, but to be prepared. When you've already faced your fears in your mind, taking action in the real world becomes less daunting. It's like rehearsing for a play. When the curtains lift, you're ready to perform. And here's a thought for you. How often do you hold back because the fear of failure paralyzes you? Imagine what you could achieve if you viewed each failure as a step up, not a stumble. Picture yourself as a phoenix, rising from the ashes, reborn and renewed. That's the essence of restarting. It's not about never failing. It's about never letting failure have the last word. During my restart, I also learned the importance of community. Sharing my struggles, being vulnerable, it connected me with others who were on their own paths of restarting. We supported each other, cheered for each small win, and pushed through setbacks together. Remember, you're not alone. Reach out, connect, share your journey. The strength you gain from others can be your greatest asset when restarting. Stoicism also teaches us the value of amor fati, a love of fate. It means embracing everything that happens to you, including your failures. It's about saying, this is exactly what I needed, because sometimes the lessons we need most can only be learned the hard way. Embracing your journey with all its ups and downs makes restarting not just a necessity, but a privilege. So, if you're standing at the crossroads, unsure if you can face starting over, let me leave you with this. Every restart is a declaration of hope. It's a commitment to yourself that you are not defined by your past, but by the courage you show in moving forward. And every time you choose to restart, you are taking another step toward becoming the person you are meant to be. Don't wait for the perfect moment to restart. Create it. Make today the day you pick up the pieces and craft a new beginning. Your next chapter is waiting to be written, and it starts with a single decision: to rise, restart, and embrace the journey ahead. Remember, in the words of Marcus Aurelius, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. So, think like a Stoic, restart like a warrior, and transform your life into the masterpiece it's meant to be. Now let's talk about a crucial step in our journey of self-reinvention: refocusing. Refocusing is about keeping your eyes on the prize, about aligning your daily actions with your ultimate goals. It's easy to get sidetracked in this fast-paced world, to lose sight of what we truly want. The noise of everyday life can drown out our deepest desires and true intentions. But here's where the art of refocusing comes into play, guiding us back to our path, to what really matters. There was a time in my life when I felt I was drifting. My goals seemed blurry and my actions didn't align with what I deeply aspired to achieve. I was busy, sure, but not productive in the way I wanted to be. It was like sailing a boat without a compass. I was moving, but not necessarily forward. That's when I stumbled upon a Stoic principle that changed everything: the concept of prosocia, or attentive focus. This ancient idea taught me the importance of mindfulness and intentionality in every action. Refocusing means being deliberate about what you let into your life. It's about pruning the unnecessary, the trivial, the distractions that sap your energy and scatter your focus. It's about asking yourself, is what I'm doing right now serving my ultimate purpose? If not, it might be time to let it go. Let's get practical here. Start by defining your top priorities. What are the 3 things that, if you achieve them, would make the biggest impact on your life? Write them down. Keep them somewhere you can see every day. And each day, do at least one thing that moves you closer to one of those goals. It's about small, consistent actions. As the Stoics believed, it's not the grand gestures but the daily decisions that shape our destinies. Refocusing also involves setting boundaries, sturdy, visible lines that protect your time and energy. It means saying no to unnecessary commitments that do not align with your goals. It means being okay with disappointing others, to not disappoint yourself. Stoicism teaches us that our time and our focus are among the few things we can control. Use them wisely. Here's something to ponder. How often do you find yourself doing something just because it's what you've always done? Maybe it's a job that no longer fulfills you, a habit that no longer serves you, or a relationship that drains more than it gives. Imagine the clarity and freedom you'd feel if you started saying yes only to things that align with your deeper values and goals. That's what refocusing is all about. During my own refocusing phase, I realized how scattered my efforts had been. I was trying to chase too many goals, which meant I wasn't making meaningful progress in any area. I took a step back and reevaluated my path. I started to cut out the clutter, not just in my physical space, but in my commitments, in my social media use, in how I spent my leisure time. Every piece of clutter cleared was like removing a blindfold. My goals came back into sharp focus. Refocusing is not a one-time fix. It's a continuous process. Life changes, goals evolve, and our focus needs to shift accordingly. It's like recalibrating a compass when you find out you've been slightly off course. It's not a failure. It's a necessary part of navigating. And if you're wondering if it's too late to refocus, let me remind you of a Stoic truth. It's never too late to be who you might have been. Every moment is a chance to turn things around, to align yourself with your aspirations. Your past decisions do not have to dictate your future. The power to change your focus lies in your hands, right here, right now. So take a moment today to ask yourself, what am I focusing on? Is it what matters most to me? If not, what can I change? Remember, refocusing is about more than just achieving goals. It's about crafting a life that's truly worth living, a life that reflects your deepest values and aspirations. Refocus now, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Let every step you take be purposeful. Let every decision be intentional, and watch as the pieces of the puzzle start to fit together, revealing a picture of a life that's not only successful, but also deeply fulfilling. As we wrap up our journey today, let's talk about maintaining momentum. It's one thing to start anew, to reset your compass, restart your engine, or refocus your lens, but it's another to keep that energy flowing, to keep pushing forward even when the initial spark has dimmed. This, my friends, is where the true challenge lies, and also where the most rewarding part of our journey begins. Remember, every great story you've ever heard, every inspiring journey you've admired, didn't just happen overnight. They were built on consistency, perseverance, and a steadfast commitment to the end goal. And here's where the Stoic principle of endurance, or what they call hippomone, comes into play. It's about enduring the long march, sticking to your path even when it's steep and fraught with obstacles. Think about the last time you started something new. Maybe it was a fitness regimen, a business venture, or a personal project. The beginning was likely exciting, filled with energy and grand visions of success. But as time went on, perhaps the enthusiasm waned. Maybe obstacles appeared that you hadn't anticipated. This is natural. It's a part of any worthwhile endeavor. But the key to success? It isn't just starting strong. It's about continuing strong. So how do we maintain this momentum? First, by setting small, incremental goals. Break down your big, audacious goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Each small victory keeps your spirits high and your focus sharp. It's like climbing a mountain, one step at a time, one breath at a time, and before you know it, you'll look back and marvel at how high you've climbed. Another vital tool for maintaining momentum is reflection. Regularly take stock of your progress. What have you learned? What would you do differently? What can you celebrate? Reflecting isn't just about patting yourself on the back. It's about learning and adjusting your strategy as you go. It's about being honest with yourself and addressing the gaps without judgment. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you paused to appreciate how far you've come? Often, we are our own harshest critics, and in the rush to achieve more, we forget to acknowledge our achievements. Yet, Stoicism teaches us the importance of gratitude, not just for others, but for our own efforts and progress. Gratitude not only brightens our outlook, but also fortifies our will to persevere. And speaking of perseverance, remember to lean on your support network. Share your journey, seek advice, and offer support to others in return. Momentum is easier to maintain when you know you're not alone, when you have people cheering for you, waiting at the finish line and running alongside you. What makes you happy? Is it your family or your loved ones? Is it money, or is it simply peace of mind? You see, the Stoics of old, like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, had a different definition of true happiness. They didn't see happiness the way the media portrays it today, or the way most people understand it. So, the question is, how can you be truly happy? Today, we are going to share with you 10 principles that can help you become genuinely happier in 2025. These principles are so powerful, so practical, that even if you choose to apply just 2 of them, they could change your life forever. So buckle up and stay attentive, because this is going to be a life-changing experience. Let our journey begin. 1. Stop doubting yourself. Start believing. Doubt is a formidable foe, often lurking in our minds like an unwelcome guest. But here's the catch. It's not about completely eradicating doubt. It's about managing it with a strong mindset. You see, even the Stoics weren't immune to self-doubt, but they knew the art of harnessing it. Take Marcus Aurelius, for instance, a man who ruled an empire yet found time to question and counsel himself. His approach wasn't about ignoring doubt, but about challenging it. He asked, "Is this thought beneficial? Does it improve or hinder my life?" This is a cue for us. When doubt creeps in, we can confront it with these questions, transforming it from an obstacle into a tool for self-reflection and growth. It's humorous in a way, how we often magnify our doubts, while the solutions are simpler than we think. Aurelius mused, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." These words aren't just poetic. They're a practical mantra. Picture this. You're about to start a new project or take up a new hobby. Doubt whispers, "You can't." Here's where you flip the script. Acknowledge the doubt, then counter it with evidence of your past successes, however small they might seem. This simple act of self-belief can be the first step toward a happier you. Remember, happiness doesn't come from the absence of doubt, but from your ability to believe in yourself despite it. 2. Reflect on your life. Have you ever paused your Netflix binge to wonder, is this it? Let's be real. Reflecting on your life doesn't mean you have to climb a mountain and meditate. It's about taking a moment, maybe while you're sipping your morning coffee, to ask yourself some serious questions. You can ask yourself questions like, what makes me get out of bed every morning? Why do I act the way I do? Now imagine your life as a movie. Would you watch it, or would you doze off before the opening credits end? Reflecting isn't about being harsh on yourself. It's about being honest. If your daily routine were a YouTube video, would you hit the like button or scroll past it? Remember, you're the director of this show. It's in your hands to make it binge-worthy. Let's talk dreams. Not the weird ones about showing up to work in your pajamas, but your real, "I want this so bad" dreams. Are they sitting on a shelf, collecting dust? It's time to dust them off and break them down into steps as simple as your morning to-do list. Think about it. If you can remember to charge your phone every night, you can definitely take small steps toward your dreams. Your life story is yours to write, so make it one you'd love to tell. 3. Focus on what you can control. Life's unpredictability can sometimes feel overwhelming, but there's a secret to staying serene. Focus on what you can control. Just like when you're playing a video game, you can't control the design of the levels or the behavior of other players, but you can master your moves. Similarly, in life, concentrate on your actions, thoughts, and attitudes. These are your joystick and buttons. Use them wisely. Seneca, a well-known Stoic philosopher, once found himself exiled. Most would see exile as a loss of control, but not Seneca. He turned inward, focusing on his writing and thoughts, cultivating his inner garden. This wasn't a retreat, but a strategic focus on what he could control. His writings from this period are a testament to the power of directing energy where it matters most. Some things are in our control, and others not. A quote often attributed to Epictetus encapsulates the essence of Stoicism. Epictetus himself knew the limits of his control and focused instead on his inner life, thoughts, and responses. In embracing this philosophy, we too can become not just happier, but also more content and resilient, just as he was amidst life's chaos. Remember, it's not about controlling the storm, but about learning to dance in the rain. 4. Be kind to others. There is a famous saying, "You get what you give." Imagine throwing a pebble into a lake. The ripples it creates spread far and wide, reaching places the pebble never could. That's the power of doing good for others. Every small act of kindness, whether it's holding the door for someone or sharing a smile, creates ripples in the world around us. It's not about grand gestures, it's the everyday kindness that truly counts. By making someone else's day a little brighter, we inadvertently light up our own. Now here's the catch. The good you do often finds its way back to you, but not always in the way you expect. It's like throwing a boomerang of kindness. It will return, sometimes in the form of a thankful smile, other times as a helping hand when you least expect it. This isn't about keeping score, but rather understanding that our actions contribute to a kinder, more compassionate world. In this world, happiness finds fertile ground to grow. Seneca, who understood the power of benevolence, once said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." Seneca didn't just preach positivity, he practiced generosity and kindness, often advising and helping others without expecting anything in return. His life teaches us that true happiness doesn't come from what we acquire, but from what we give. Let's walk into 2025 with open hearts, ready to spread kindness. After all, a good deed is a step toward a happier life. 5. Do less better. Ever tried juggling? Start with too many balls and they all end up on the floor. Life's a bit like that. Trying to do everything often leads to achieving little. The key lies in doing less, but doing it better. It's not about the quantity of tasks, but the quality of your engagement. Choose a few things that truly matter to you and give them your all. This focused approach not only enhances your skills, but also brings a deeper sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. Simplifying life isn't about having less, it's about having more of what counts. Trim down your to-do list to the essentials, like a sculptor chiseling away the excess to reveal a beautiful statue. Remove the unnecessary from your life to uncover your true priorities. This clarity leads to action, and action leads to happiness. By focusing on fewer things, you can channel your energy more effectively, making each effort count. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Concentrate every minute, like a Roman, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, and with justice." He was not just a ruler of an empire, but also a ruler of his time and focus. He prioritized, deliberated, and acted with intention. In our pursuit of happiness, let's remember his wisdom. By focusing on doing less but doing it better, we open ourselves to a world of excellence and contentment. Let's narrow our gaze to broaden our impact. 6. Be grateful. Let's take a moment and think about gratitude. You know, it's like finding a $5 bill in your old jacket. It was always there, but the moment you find it, your day gets a little brighter. That's what gratitude does to life. It's about appreciating the small things. A warm cup of coffee, a text from a friend, the sunset. When you start noticing and being thankful for these moments, life suddenly becomes richer. It's not about waiting for big things to happen. It's about finding joy in the ordinary. Now, how do you make gratitude a habit? It's actually simple. You could keep a gratitude journal. Each night, jot down something you were grateful for that day. It could be as simple as enjoying a quiet moment, or as big as achieving a personal goal. This practice shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present in your life. And trust me, the more you look for things to be grateful for, the more you find them. Epictetus once remarked, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This man found richness in his simple, constrained life by focusing on what he had, not what he lacked. His message to us in 2025, let's embrace gratitude. By recognizing and cherishing the abundance in our lives, we open doors to happiness and contentment. Remember, it's not happiness that brings gratitude, but gratitude that brings happiness. 7. Stop seeking external approval. The quest for external approval. It's like chasing a shadow that always eludes us. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy surprisingly relevant in our lives, teaches us a powerful lesson here. First off, let's get real, everyone. At some point, craves a thumbs up from others. But here's the twist. Stoicism nudges us to flip the script. It's about looking inward for validation, not outward. Imagine your self-worth as a fortress. Why let someone else hold the keys? Now, onto the practical stuff. How do you actually stop this approval-seeking mission? Start by recognizing your own achievements, no matter how small. Did you make your bed this morning? That's a win. Take a moment to appreciate these tiny victories. They add up. Trust me, it's like building a mental muscle in your mind, and between the day where you lost and the day where you achieved it, you can build new tissues. You want to be better than you were yesterday? Refocus on that goal. Trust me, it's like building a mental muscle to push forward and build mental habits to make you the best version of yourself. One where you're both the coach and the cheerleader. And when you feel the urge to fish for compliments or likes on social media, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for the gram? Here's a little secret. Your opinion is the one that truly matters. Every day try to do something that makes you proud. Not for the applause, but for your own sense of achievement. It's about rewiring our brains to seek internal rather than external validation. Think of it as mental decluttering, less focus on others' opinions, more space for your own growth. It's not about becoming indifferent to others, but about being true to yourself. This shift in mindset is not just liberating, it's empowering. 8. Challenge yourself. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. It's steep, challenging, and at times you wonder why you even started. But here's the thing. Every step up that mountain makes you stronger and more resilient. Stoicism, a philosophy as old as the hills yet as fresh as tomorrow's sunrise, tells us that life's true fulfillment comes from overcoming challenges, not avoiding them. So in 2025, let's turn our daily grind into our personal Everest. Now, you might be thinking, easier said than done, right? Well, it isn't about transforming overnight. It's about small, steady changes. Start by setting a goal that pushes your limits yet is achievable. It could be learning a new skill, improving your fitness, or even just reading a book a month. The key isn't the goal itself, but the growth that comes from reaching for it. Each small victory is a step up your mountain. Do remember, climbing a mountain isn't a solo journey. Share your challenges and your victories with others. Stoicism teaches us the power of community and support. By sharing your journey, you not only gain allies, but also inspire others to start their own climbs. So, as we step into 2025, let's challenge ourselves, support each other, and enjoy the view from our personal summits. Happy climbing. 9. Laugh more. Laughing more isn't just a cheerful suggestion. It's a cornerstone of a contented life. Echoing the wisdom of the ancient Stoics, take Chrysippus, a Stoic philosopher who reportedly died of laughter. While that's an extreme example, it underscores a profound truth. Laughter is serious business. It's a tool that lightens our burdens and brings perspective to our challenges. Just imagine for a moment the absurdity of life's little dramas seen through a lens of humor. Your coffee spills, and instead of frustration, there's a chuckle about the universe's quirky timing. That's the principles in action, reminding us that not everything deserves a furrowed brow. Now, how do you fit more laughter into the puzzle of modern life? It's simpler than you might think. Start by seeking the lighthearted side of daily situations. Traffic jam? It's a chance to play your favorite comedy podcast. Tough day at work? Swap stories with friends about who had the most bizarre encounter. This isn't about ignoring life's complexities. It's about choosing a joyful perspective. It's a practical Stoic approach. Control what you can, your outlook and reaction, and let go of what you can't. Laughter is a shared melody. It connects us, making our collective journey a bit brighter. So, next time you find something amusing, share it. Be that person who brings a smile to others. Your laughter becomes a ripple, touching lives in ways you might never see. That's the essence of Stoicism, finding harmony within and spreading it outward. It's not just about enduring life, but embracing it joyously. So go ahead, laugh a bit more. It's not just good for the soul, it's wisdom echoing through the ages. 10. Love your fate. Love your fate. It sounds like a tall order, right? Yet, this is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism intersects with our fast-paced, tech-savvy world. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or enduring pain with a stiff upper lip. It's about embracing whatever life throws at you with a positive spirit. Think of it like surfing. Waves will come, big and small, but it's your skill in riding them that counts, not the size of the wave. So how do you love your fate in a world where your fate can include anything from a missed Uber to a critical email disappearing into the digital abyss? Start by reframing your mindset. When something doesn't go your way, see it as an opportunity to grow. Miss that Uber? It's a chance to take a brisk walk and enjoy some fresh air. Email vanish, time to improve your tech skills. It's not about being blindly optimistic, but about finding the silver lining in every cloud. This approach is not just about making the best of a bad situation, it's about transforming challenges into stepping stones. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wisely noted, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that the very obstacles you face can pave your path to success. Next time your Wi-Fi acts up during an important call, instead of fuming, take a moment to appreciate the unplugged world. Maybe strike up a conversation with someone nearby, or jot down those creative ideas you've been postponing. In essence, loving your fate is about embracing life's unpredictable nature with agility and grace. It's choosing to dance in the rain instead of waiting for the storm to pass. Have you ever noticed how just a few seconds of intense anger can cause more damage than you thought possible? Imagine this. In just the time it takes to snap your fingers, relationships can be strained and days can be ruined. It's startling, isn't it? How powerful and potentially destructive a single moment of anger can be. But what if I told you that this same powerful force, when understood and harnessed, can become a profound tool for personal growth and strength? Today we dive deep into the ancient yet incredibly relevant world of Stoicism. It's not just about enduring hardship, but transforming our responses to them for greater peace and clarity. I invite you all to engage in this conversation. Comment below with your thoughts and experiences regarding anger. How open are you to exploring Stoic ways to master your emotions? If you're someone who seeks to grow, who loves to challenge your own boundaries of understanding, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Spread the word and help others discover the power of Stoicism. And stay tuned, especially if you're skeptical about what Stoicism can offer. This video is packed with insights that might just change your mind. Together, we'll explore not just the theory, but the practical applications of Stoicism in controlling anger, with real-life examples and actionable advice. It promises to be an enlightening experience, so watch till the end to gain a full understanding of how to transform anger from a destructive impulse into a constructive force. Let's get started. Have you ever suddenly found yourself in the middle of a heated argument, heart racing, with words spilling out that you instantly wish you could take back? That moment, that explosion of anger, seems to come from nowhere, right? It's almost like a switch flips inside us. One minute everything is fine, and the next, we're swept up in a wave of emotions so strong that it can feel uncontrollable. This is what I like to call the burst of anger, a sudden release that can disrupt not just your day, but potentially your life. Think about the last time you felt this burst of anger. Maybe it was a disagreement with a friend or a frustration at work. It's something we've all faced. Anger is not just a simple emotion. It's a complex response that can lead to regrettable actions and hurtful words. And let's be honest, it often leaves a trail of damage in its wake, from strained relationships to missed opportunities for understanding and connection. But what if I told you there's a different way to handle this burst? This is where the wisdom of Stoicism comes into play. Stoics teach us that we may not have control over every situation we encounter, but we can control our response. It's not about suppressing your anger or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about recognizing that moment of eruption and choosing a different path. Stoicism offers us tools to pause and reflect instead of react. It teaches us to look at anger through a lens of awareness and understanding. Why am I angry? What triggered this response? By asking these questions, we start to take power back from our impulsive reactions and begin to manage our emotions more constructively. This approach doesn't diminish the validity of our feelings, but empowers us to handle them with clarity and strength. It's about transforming what seems like an uncontrollable outburst into a moment of choice. Every time you feel that surge of anger, remember, this isn't just an emotional response. It's an opportunity to grow, to embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has endured through the centuries, offers a unique lens through which we can view our emotions, especially those as volatile and impactful as anger. So, what do the Stoics say about anger? Simply put, they believe that anger stems not from the external events we experience, but from our internal judgments and reactions to those events. Now, you might be wondering, how does that help me when I'm actually angry? According to Stoicism, the key lies in recognizing that we have the power to question and adjust our immediate reactions. For instance, when someone cuts you off in traffic, your instant reaction might be anger. Your heart starts pounding, you might yell or gesture at the other driver, and your mood is off for the next few hours. But here's the Stoic twist. Instead of succumbing to anger, you pause. You reflect on why you're angry. Is it truly because of the other driver, or is it because you've allowed their actions to disturb your peace? This reflection is at the heart of the Stoic approach to anger. It's about stepping back and asking, what is within my control? You can't control the traffic, the other driver, or even the fact that you were cut off, but you can control your response. This doesn't mean you don't feel the rush of emotion. It means you acknowledge it and then choose not to let it dictate your actions. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions, anger included, should be indicators, not dictators. They signal to us that something is happening that might require our attention, but they shouldn't sweep us away into reactive behavior. When we look at anger through this Stoic lens, it becomes less about suppressing anger and more about managing it. It's not suppression because you're not denying or ignoring your feelings. You're acknowledging them, analyzing them, and then making a conscious decision about how to proceed. This perspective is incredibly empowering. Think about it. If you can master this Stoic practice, how many situations would be less stressful? How much more effective could your communication be? How much more peace could you bring into your life? As we continue this discussion, I invite you to consider the Stoic idea that virtue is the sole good. This doesn't just mean moral excellence, but refers to the idea of living in accordance with reason and wisdom, especially in the face of emotions like anger. By striving toward virtue, we can transform potentially destructive anger into constructive responses that align with our deepest values. So, as we unpack these ideas, remember that Stoicism isn't just about enduring life's challenges. It's about thriving through them by harnessing our inner strength and wisdom. Controlling anger doesn't mean we never feel angry. Rather, it's about managing our response when that feeling arises. Here's a roadmap you can use to cultivate a more measured reaction when you're tempted to let anger take the wheel. First and foremost, recognize the onset of anger. This is crucial. Stoicism teaches us to be observant of our inner states. Notice when your body begins to show signs of anger. Maybe your heartbeat accelerates, your breathing gets shallow, or you start to clench your fists. These are your body's signals, alerting you that it's time to intervene. Once you recognize these signs, the next step is to pause. This is where the power of Stoicism really shines. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor and philosopher, emphasized the importance of pausing to separate our initial reactions from our deliberate actions. By pausing, you give yourself a moment to step back from the immediate emotional response. This doesn't have to be long. Sometimes just a few seconds can make a significant difference. During this pause, engage in reflective thinking. Ask yourself, why am I feeling angry? Is it because your expectations weren't met? Is it because you feel disrespected? Understanding the why behind your anger can help you address the root cause rather than just the symptoms. This step is about responding with reason rather than reacting out of emotion. Now let's talk about reappraisal of the situation, which is a classic Stoic strategy. This involves reframing the event that triggered your anger. For example, if someone has acted in a way that angers you, instead of viewing it as a personal attack, consider alternative explanations. Perhaps they're having a bad day, or they're unaware of the impact of their actions. This shift in perspective can significantly reduce the intensity of your anger. Another practical step is to focus on what you can control. Stoicism draws a firm line between what's within our control and what's not. You can't control other people's actions, the past, or the fact that certain things have already happened. But you can control your response, your thoughts, and your actions moving forward. Concentrating on these aspects reduces feelings of helplessness and frustration, which are often fuel for anger. Implementing calming techniques is also vital. Once you've paused and reflected, use techniques like deep breathing, counting to 10, or even stepping away from the situation if possible. These methods aren't just about cooling down. They're about giving your rational mind time to regain control from your emotions. Lastly, practice regular reflection. Stoicism isn't just about reacting well in the moment. It's also about preparing for future challenges. Regularly reflect on your day or your reactions to certain situations. What triggered your anger? How did you handle it? What could you do better next time? This ongoing practice builds your resilience and equips you with more effective strategies for managing anger. By integrating these steps into your daily life, you align more closely with Stoic principles, turning each burst of anger into an opportunity for personal growth and wisdom. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate anger entirely, but to master it in such a way that it no longer controls you. Each step you take is a step toward not just greater peace, but also deeper understanding and more effective living. Let's take a deeper look at how we can put Stoicism into action, particularly when it comes to transforming our experiences of anger into opportunities for growth and reflection. Stoicism isn't just about handling anger passively. It's about actively converting it into something constructive. One of the most empowering Stoic principles is the concept of using every obstacle as a means to practice virtue. Anger, like any other obstacle, challenges us to practice patience, courage, and wisdom. When you feel anger rising, ask yourself, what is this anger teaching me? It could be showing you where your expectations might be unrealistic, or where you might need to develop greater empathy. For example, consider a situation at work where you feel repeatedly frustrated by a colleague's actions. Instead of letting this build into resentment or outbursts of anger, use this as a Stoic exercise. Each instance can be a moment to practice patience, to communicate your feelings constructively, or to reinforce your boundaries effectively. Here, anger becomes a signal, a cue that something needs your attention, perhaps a part of your own response mechanisms that you can refine and improve. Moreover, turning anger into opportunity means focusing not just on controlling outbursts, but also on cultivating an underlying serenity that comes from Stoic acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means recognizing and adapting to things as they are. When you accept that certain things are beyond your control, like other people's actions or life's unpredictable events, you free yourself from the burden of trying to force things to be different. This acceptance can significantly alleviate feelings of anger. Another practical way to put Stoicism into action is through what Marcus Aurelius called turning the obstacle upside down. Every time you're faced with something that makes you angry, it's an opportunity to turn the situation on its head and extract something beneficial from it. This could mean learning to communicate more clearly, setting more realistic expectations, or even just understanding your own triggers more deeply. Each angry moment can be flipped to reveal a lesson or a stepping stone to better self-mastery. Stoic practice also involves reflecting on the impermanence of our emotions. Anger feels intense and all-consuming when it hits, but like everything else, it passes. Reminding yourself of this can help lessen the grip of anger. You can say to yourself, "This too shall pass," and focus on maintaining your composure in the moment, knowing that the intensity of your anger will diminish with time. Lastly, share these lessons with others. Stoicism teaches that wisdom is not just for personal benefit, but is something to be shared. By discussing how you turned an angry moment into a learning opportunity, you can help others see their challenges in a new light. This not only reinforces your own learning, but also extends the benefit beyond yourself, turning personal growth into communal wisdom. So, as we navigate through our days, let's try to view each anger-inducing incident as a chance to apply Stoic wisdom, to grow in virtue, and to contribute to a more rational, composed world. It's about seizing those moments of anger and transforming them into something that not only enhances our lives, but also the lives of those around us. Empowerment through Stoicism is about more than just managing our anger. It's about finding strength and resilience within ourselves that we might not have realized we possessed. When we talk about empowerment in Stoicism, we're talking about the power to lead our lives with a sense of purpose, peace, and perspective that remains stable no matter the external circumstances. Stoicism teaches us that true empowerment comes from within. It doesn't rely on external validation or circumstances. Instead, it builds on our ability to control our own responses to the world around us. Consider this. How often have you felt at the mercy of your emotions, tossed around by feelings of anger, frustration, or disappointment? Stoicism offers a different path. It invites us to step back and ask ourselves, can I choose a different response? Do I have the power to see this differently? And the answer more often than not is yes. This self-empowerment is realized through the Stoic practice of focusing on what is within our control. You can't control what others say or do. You can't control the past, and you certainly can't control the global events that impact your life. But you can control your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. When you internalize this, every moment of frustration or anger becomes an opportunity to practice this principle. You start to see challenges as chances to exercise your agency and autonomy. For instance, when you're faced with a difficult situation that stirs anger, Stoicism empowers you to choose a response that aligns with your values. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can respond with deliberation and integrity. This might mean taking a deep breath and deciding to address a conflict with calm words, or it might mean choosing to walk away from a situation that is not beneficial to engage with. Moreover, Stoicism empowers us by changing our relationship with our emotions. Instead of being overwhelmed by anger, we learn to recognize it as a natural response that we can observe, understand, and manage. This emotional intelligence does not just alter our interactions, it changes the way we lead our lives. We become more resilient as we're no longer derailed by every emotional upheaval, and more adaptable, capable of thriving in a variety of circumstances. Empowerment also comes from the Stoic practice of self-reflection. By regularly examining our choices, behaviors, and reactions, we gain deeper insights into our character and motivations. This reflective practice not only helps us make better decisions in the future, but also fosters a profound sense of self-awareness and self-acceptance. We learn to trust ourselves, to lean on our internal compass, rather than being swayed by every passing storm. And finally, empowerment through Stoicism is about contributing to the greater good. Stoicism teaches that we are part of a larger community and that our choices impact others. By choosing to respond to situations with reason and calm, we contribute to a more rational and peaceful world. We lead by example, showing others that it is possible to respond to life's challenges with grace and strength. In embracing Stoicism, we find a powerful ally in our quest for a fulfilled and balanced life. So as we continue on this journey, let's remind ourselves of the incredible strength that lies within us, ready to be harnessed through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. It's not just about controlling anger. It's about unlocking a level of personal power and resilience that transforms all aspects of our lives. This isn't about suppressing what you feel. It's about understanding and directing your emotions in a way that's productive and healthy. Stoicism provides us with tools to not only confront our feelings, but to transform our entire approach to dealing with emotions, especially challenging ones like anger. Let's unpack this a bit. In Stoicism, one of the core principles is that our emotions are largely the result of our judgments and beliefs. When we feel angry, it's often because we've made a judgment about a situation or person, that they've wronged us, that an injustice has occurred, or that something should not be the way it is. Here lies a powerful opportunity. If we can change our judgments, we can change our emotional responses. To master our emotions, we start by examining these judgments critically. Ask yourself, why do I believe this situation is bad? Is it within my control? Can I look at this differently? This type of questioning is central to Stoic practice and fosters a kind of emotional agility that can be incredibly freeing. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, and you start to feel that familiar rise of frustration. A Stoic approach would encourage you to analyze that frustration. You might think, being angry won't clear the traffic. Can I use this time productively instead? Perhaps this is a good moment to listen to a podcast or an audiobook. Suddenly the situation hasn't changed, but your perception of it has, and so has your emotional state. This is where the concept of amor fati, or love of fate, comes into play. It's a Stoic mindset that invites you to embrace whatever happens as an opportunity. It's about more than just acceptance. It's a deep appreciation for life as it unfolds, even when it unfolds in unexpected ways. When you start to practice amor fati, you're not only managing your anger better, but you're also cultivating a profound peace that comes from the confidence that you can handle anything that comes your way. Moreover, mastering emotions with Stoicism means developing a strong sense of inner fortitude. Every time you choose not to lash out in anger, you strengthen your character. You start to build a reputation with yourself as someone who is dependable, stable, and calm. This internal trust is crucial. It's the foundation of self-esteem and personal integrity. And let's not forget the power of preparation. Stoics are big on preparing mentally for what might go wrong. This isn't pessimism, it's practical wisdom. By thinking ahead about how you might deal with potential frustrations or anger-inducing situations, you equip yourself with a toolkit for emotional management. When those moments arise, you're not caught off guard. You have a plan, and you have practices in place, like deep breathing, reframing your thoughts, or stepping back to gain perspective. Mastering your emotions with Stoicism isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey of self-reflection, practice, and growth. It requires consistency, honesty with oneself, and the courage to face up to our emotions in a fundamentally different way. But the rewards are immense. Not only do you gain control over your anger and other emotions, but you also gain a serene and resilient spirit that can significantly enhance your quality of life. Our greatest power lies in the ability to choose our response to life's challenges. Picture this. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, faced with unending turmoil, found peace not in control, but in acceptance. He taught that the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. This ancient wisdom of Stoicism isn't just historical trivia. It's a transformative tool we can all use today. In this video, we'll uncover the art of letting things happen, exploring how embracing the flow of life rather than forcing outcomes can lead to profound peace and fulfillment. Get ready to dive into the timeless teachings of Stoicism and discover how to navigate life's unpredictability with grace and strength. If you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. Don't skip any part of the video, as this journey towards inner calm and resilience might just change your life. In Stoicism, there's a strong emphasis on distinguishing between what we can and cannot control. This starts with our thoughts. The Stoics believed that while we cannot control external events, we have complete control over our minds. By focusing on our thoughts, we can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and composure. It's like building a mental armor that shields us from unnecessary worries and negative influences. When we understand this, we can start to see our thoughts not just as fleeting moments in our minds, but as powerful tools that shape our reality. Consider the impact of a single negative thought. It can spiral into a cascade of negativity, affecting our mood, our behavior, and even our health. On the other hand, a positive thought can inspire us, motivate us, and lead to actions that improve our lives and the lives of those around us. The Stoics were masters of this mental discipline. They practiced techniques like reflection and journaling to keep their thoughts in check. For example, the evening reflection was a common practice where they would spend time at the end of each day contemplating their thoughts and actions, identifying what went well and what could be improved. This practice allowed them to maintain a clear and focused mind, ready to face the next day with renewed strength. Moreover, the Stoics taught us that thoughts are not just abstract concepts, but tangible forces that can direct the course of our lives. By becoming aware of our thoughts and consciously guiding them, we can transform our experiences. This is not about suppressing negative thoughts, but rather about understanding them, challenging them, and ultimately transforming them into positive actions. It's a skill that takes practice, but can lead to profound changes in how we perceive and interact with the world. To put it into perspective, imagine two people facing the same challenging situation. One person is consumed by negative thoughts, believing that nothing they do will make a difference. They feel paralyzed and defeated. The other person, guided by positive thoughts, sees the challenge as an opportunity for growth. They think about past successes and believe in their ability to overcome the obstacle. This person is more likely to take proactive steps and ultimately succeed. The difference lies in their thoughts. Realizing the importance of thought is about recognizing that our inner dialogue shapes our reality. It's about taking control of our mental landscape and cultivating thoughts that lead to positive actions and outcomes. As Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics have shown us, this is a path to true happiness and fulfillment. So, start today by paying attention to your thoughts. Challenge the negative ones and nurture the positive ones. This simple yet profound shift can transform your life in ways you never imagined. Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic, provides invaluable insights on this. He advises, "Here is a rule to remember in future. When anything tempts you to feel bitter, not, 'This is misfortune,' but, 'To bear this worthily is good fortune.'" This quote encapsulates the Stoic approach to transforming thoughts, changing our perspective on challenges and adversity. At its core, transforming your thoughts involves recognizing that our spontaneous thoughts often come with value judgments that can be misleading and harmful. These judgments are immediate and automatic, labeling experiences as good or bad, fun or boring, successful or failing. The problem is that these judgments are rarely based on the full picture and are often clouded by our emotions and biases. The Stoics teach us that our thoughts are not shaped by reality, but by our perception of it. By changing our perception, we can change our thoughts and consequently our lives. Consider how often we let a single negative thought shape our entire day. If you wake up and immediately think, "Today is going to be awful," that thought sets the tone for everything that follows. It colors your interactions, your decisions, and your overall mood. But what if you could catch that thought and transform it? Instead of, "Today is going to be awful," you could think, "Today might have challenges, but I can handle them." This simple shift can change your entire outlook and experience of the day. One of the Stoic practices for transforming thoughts is to question and challenge them. When you have a negative thought, don't just accept it as true. Reflect on it. Ask yourself if the thought is reasonable, if it is based on facts, or if it is influenced by temporary emotions. For example, after a tough meeting at work, you might think, "I'm terrible at my job." But is that thought reasonable? Was it just one difficult meeting out of many successful ones? Are you letting one experience overshadow your overall competence and achievements? Another powerful Stoic technique is reframing. Reframing involves taking a negative thought and finding a more constructive way to look at it. For instance, if you think, "I failed, and there's no point in trying again," you can reframe it to, "Failure is an opportunity to learn and improve. I can try again with more wisdom." This technique helps you see setbacks as part of the growth process rather than as final judgments on your abilities. The practice of gratitude also plays a significant role in transforming thoughts. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, from negative aspects to positive ones. When you start feeling overwhelmed by negative thoughts, take a moment to list things you're grateful for. This practice can instantly change your mood and perspective, helping you see the abundance and opportunities in your life rather than the challenges and deficiencies. Furthermore, Stoics emphasize the importance of living in accordance with nature and understanding our role within the larger context of the world. This broader perspective can help transform our thoughts by reminding us that we are part of something greater and that our individual experiences, while significant, are just one piece of the larger puzzle. It encourages us to accept what we cannot change and focus on what we can control. our thoughts and action. In practical terms, transforming your thoughts might also involve regular journaling, a practice that many Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius, engaged in. Writing down your thoughts allows you to examine them objectively, understand their origins, and decide how you want to address them. It's a way to declutter your mind and gain clarity. Learning to transform your thoughts is about recognizing the power of perception, questioning and reframing negative thoughts, practicing gratitude, and understanding your place in the larger scheme of things. By adopting these Stoic principles, you can cultivate a mindset that not only endures, but thrives in the face of life's challenges. This shift in thinking is not just a mental exercise, but a profound way to reshape your entire approach to life, leading to greater peace, resilience, and fulfillment. The term premeditatio malorum translates to premeditation of evils or anticipation of adversity, and it was a technique regularly employed by Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics to foster resilience and mental fortitude. Imagine starting each day by acknowledging that things might not go as planned. Marcus Aurelius would wake up and remind himself, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." This might sound pessimistic, but it served a crucial purpose. It prepared him mentally for the inevitable frustrations and challenges of daily life. By expecting difficulties, he could approach them with calmness and equanimity when they arose, rather than being caught off guard. The idea behind premeditatio malorum is not to dwell on negative outcomes, but to mentally rehearse how you would handle them. This practice builds psychological resilience. When we visualize potential setbacks and plan our responses, we reduce the shock and emotional impact when those setbacks occur. It's similar to how athletes visualize their performance before a game. They prepare for various scenarios, which enhances their actual performance. Consider a simple analogy. Think of premeditatio malorum as a mental fire drill. Just as practicing a fire drill prepares you to act swiftly and calmly in an actual emergency, mentally rehearsing how you would handle difficulties prepares you to face real-life challenges with greater composure and effectiveness. It's about building a mental muscle that allows you to remain steady and focused under pressure. This technique is deeply rooted in the Stoic understanding of what is within our control and what is not. The Stoics believe that while we cannot control external events, we can control our reactions to them. By anticipating potential problems and deciding in advance how to respond, we take proactive control over our emotional and mental states. This aligns with the Stoic goal of achieving a tranquil mind, undisturbed by external chaos. Premeditatio malorum can be applied to various aspects of life. For instance, before a significant meeting or presentation, you might consider the possible challenges. What if the technology fails? What if you forget your main points? By thinking through these scenarios and planning your responses, you can approach the event with greater confidence and less anxiety. You've already faced these challenges in your mind, so they're less intimidating in reality. Moreover, this practice can enhance our gratitude. When we contemplate potential misfortunes, we often realize how much we take for granted. This reflection can deepen our appreciation for what we have and foster a greater sense of gratitude for the present moment. It shifts our focus from what could go wrong to what is currently going right, balancing our perspective. A practical way to incorporate premeditatio malorum into your daily routine is through journaling. Spend a few minutes each morning writing down potential challenges you might face that day and how you would ideally respond to them. This simple exercise can set a tone of preparedness and calmness for the rest of the day. Additionally, it's beneficial to periodically reflect on past adversities and how you handled them. This reflection can reveal patterns in your responses, highlight areas for improvement, and reinforce your resilience. By recognizing that you have successfully navigated challenges before, you build confidence in your ability to handle future difficulties. Practicing premeditatio malorum is about embracing the reality that life is unpredictable and often challenging. By mentally preparing for these challenges, we can face them with greater strength and serenity. This Stoic practice helps us build resilience, maintain control over our emotional responses, and foster a deeper appreciation for the present. It's a powerful tool for anyone looking to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and wisdom. So, the next time you anticipate a tough day, remember the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and prepare your mind for the journey ahead. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this when he said, "Give yourself a gift, the present moment." This statement is a call to embrace the here and now, to fully immerse ourselves in the current moment, free from the regrets of the past and the anxieties of the future. The Stoics believe that the present moment is all we truly have. The past is unchangeable, and the future is uncertain. Dwelling too much on either robs us of the peace and clarity that come from being fully engaged with the present. When we focus on the present, we can better appreciate the world around us, the people we interact with, and the tasks we undertake. It's about finding joy and fulfillment in the here and now, rather than postponing happiness for some uncertain future. Consider the way we often get lost in our thoughts about what has already happened or what might happen. We replay past mistakes or anticipate future problems, and this mental chatter keeps us from truly experiencing life. For example, how often have you been in a conversation but found yourself thinking about what you need to do later, or regretting something you said earlier? This robs you of the ability to connect genuinely with the person in front of you and to fully appreciate the interaction. Living in the present also means letting go of the need to control everything. The Stoics taught that we should accept what is outside our control and focus on what we can influence, our own thoughts and actions. This acceptance can be incredibly liberating. When we stop trying to control the uncontrollable, we reduce our stress and anxiety, allowing ourselves to be more at peace with whatever comes our way. It's about finding serenity in the midst of chaos by anchoring ourselves in the present moment. One practical way to live in the present is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of bringing your attention to the present moment without judgment. This can be done through simple exercises like focusing on your breath, observing your surroundings, or engaging in a task with full attention. By practicing mindfulness, we train our minds to return to the present whenever they start to wander. This can greatly enhance our ability to stay focused and calm, even in stressful situations. The practice of mindfulness has been shown to have numerous benefits, including reduced stress, improved emotional regulation, and increased overall well-being. When we are mindful, we are better able to handle life's challenges with grace and resilience. We become more attuned to our thoughts and emotions, allowing us to respond rather than react impulsively. Another way to cultivate living in the present is through gratitude. Taking time each day to reflect on what we are grateful for helps shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. This practice can bring a sense of abundance and contentment. When we appreciate the small moments of joy and beauty in our daily lives, we anchor ourselves more firmly in the present. Moreover, living in the present encourages us to fully engage with our activities, no matter how mundane they may seem. The Stoics believed in doing every task, no matter how small, with excellence and attention. This means being fully present in whatever you are doing, whether it's washing the dishes, working on a project, or spending time with loved ones. By giving our full attention to our current activity, we can find satisfaction and purpose in every moment. It's also important to recognize the impact of technology on our ability to live in the present. Our constant connectivity can pull us out of the moment as we check emails, social media, and messages. Setting boundaries with technology and creating moments of disconnection can help us reclaim our presence. This might mean having device-free times, such as during meals or before bed, to fully engage with our surroundings and the people we are with. Living in the present is about embracing the here and now, letting go of past regrets and future anxieties, and focusing on what we can control, our thoughts and actions. By practicing mindfulness, gratitude, and fully engaging with our activities, we can cultivate a deeper sense of peace, fulfillment, and resilience. As Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics have shown us, the present moment is a precious gift, and learning to live in it can transform our lives. Marcus Aurelius, despite his responsibilities as a Roman emperor, took time each day to reflect on the simple privilege of being alive. He said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This profound sense of gratitude is not just about acknowledging the good things in life, but about fostering a deeper appreciation for every moment and experience. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, creating a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. It's easy to get caught up in the daily grind and overlook the small joys and blessings that surround us. By consciously practicing gratitude, we train our minds to see the positives, even in challenging situations. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties, but rather recognizing that there is always something to be thankful for, even in the midst of adversity. One effective way to practice gratitude is by keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. These can be anything from significant achievements to small, everyday pleasures, like a beautiful sunset or a kind gesture from a friend. This simple exercise helps to build a habit of looking for the good in each day, reinforcing a positive outlook and fostering a sense of contentment. Expressing gratitude to others is another powerful practice. Take the time to thank the people around you, your family, friends, colleagues, even strangers who have shown you kindness. This not only strengthens your relationships, but also reinforces your awareness of the interconnectedness of your life with others. Gratitude has a ripple effect. When we express it, we often inspire others to do the same, creating a more positive and supportive environment. In the context of Stoicism, gratitude also involves accepting and appreciating the present moment as it is, without longing for what is not. This is encapsulated in the Stoic concept of amor fati, or love of fate. It's about embracing all aspects of life, including the challenges and setbacks, as part of our journey. By viewing everything that happens to us as an opportunity for growth and learning, we can cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the entirety of our experience. Gratitude can also be a powerful antidote to negative emotions like envy and resentment. When we focus on what we have and appreciate it fully, we are less likely to feel envious of others. Envy arises from a sense of lack, but gratitude reminds us of our abundance. Similarly, resentment often stems from unmet expectations and perceived injustices. Practicing gratitude shifts our perspective, helping us to let go of these negative feelings and embrace a more positive and forgiving outlook. Moreover, gratitude has numerous psychological and physical benefits. Research has shown that people who regularly practice gratitude experience better sleep, lower stress levels, and improved mental health. Gratitude enhances our overall well-being by promoting a positive mindset and reducing the impact of negative emotions. It helps us build resilience, enabling us to bounce back from setbacks more effectively. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine doesn't require drastic changes. It can be as simple as taking a few moments each morning to reflect on what you are thankful for, or ending your day with a gratitude meditation. This practice aligns with the Stoic tradition of reflection and mindfulness, encouraging us to live with intention and awareness. Practicing gratitude is a powerful way to enrich our lives and align with the principles of Stoicism. By focusing on what we have, expressing appreciation to others, and embracing all aspects of our experiences, we can cultivate a mindset of abundance and contentment. Gratitude helps us navigate life's challenges with grace, build stronger relationships, and enhance our overall well-being. Every single day, we're faced with moments that test our patience and rattle our calm. Whether it's a traffic jam when you're already late, a coworker's irritating habits, or your phone battery dying in the middle of an important call, life seems full of these little battles. It's not just about these minor irritations, though. It's about how we respond to them that shapes our days and, ultimately, our lives. It's important to remember that everyone feels angry sometimes. It's part of being human. But here's where Stoicism steps in with its profound wisdom. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. This is pivotal in transforming our relationship with anger. Think about it. When something goes wrong or someone frustrates us, our first instinct might be to react with anger. But what if, instead, we paused and considered this reaction? Stoicism encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, understanding, and resilience. By acknowledging anger as a natural emotion, we set the stage for learning how to handle it more effectively. The Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius often discuss the concept of not being swayed by external events, but instead focusing on our internal responses. They believe that our emotions, including anger, come from our judgments about events, not the events themselves. So, when we feel angry, it's often because we're placing a particular value or judgment on what's happened. This understanding opens up a powerful opportunity for us. Each time we feel anger rising, we can ask ourselves, what judgment am I making about this situation? Is there another way to view it? This is not about suppressing or denying your anger. It's about understanding it. By getting to the root of what triggers our anger, we can start to change our responses. For instance, if you get cut off in traffic and feel the anger bubbling up, recognize this as a chance to examine why you react this way. Is it really the action of the other driver, or is it your belief that your route should be obstacle-free? Moreover, acknowledging anger helps us empathize with others who might also struggle with their emotions. This empathy can deepen our connections and improve our interactions. It's about compassion, both for ourselves and for others, as we navigate the complexities of human emotions. This idea is at the heart of Stoic philosophy and is incredibly liberating once you truly grasp it. Think about it. So much of our frustration and anger stems from situations or people we simply can't change, no matter how much we might want to. The Stoics, like the wise Marcus Aurelius, taught that the real power lies in recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we can't. You control your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions. That's it. Everything else is more or less out of your hands. Other people's actions, the weather, the past, and much of the future. But here's where it gets interesting. By focusing on our own reactions and attitudes, we reclaim a tremendous amount of power. Instead of wasting energy on the uncontrollable, we invest it in what we can actually influence. Let's make it practical. Say you're working on a group project and someone isn't pulling their weight. It's easy to get frustrated, right? You might even feel your temper rising, but ask yourself, what part of this situation can I actually control? You can't make your teammate work harder, but you can control how you respond to the challenge. Maybe it's a conversation about expectations, or perhaps it's reallocating work within the group. By shifting your focus like this, you not only reduce your own stress, but also open up more constructive ways to address the problem. Another aspect of this Stoic principle is accepting that some things are just beyond our control. This acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means understanding where our power truly lies. It's about not letting external events dictate your peace of mind. For instance, if you're stuck in traffic and getting irritated because you're going to be late, pause and think, can I control the traffic? No. But what can you control? Your reaction. Maybe you turn on an audiobook or some calming music, or use the time to think through your day. The beauty of focusing on what you can control is that it gradually builds a stronger, more resilient mindset. Over time, you'll find yourself less shaken by life's ups and downs because you know where your responsibilities lie and where they don't. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, but about channeling your energies more productively. It's about being fully present in the moment, aware of where we are and what we're doing, without being overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. This aligns beautifully with Stoic teachings, which emphasize awareness of our thoughts and actions and maintaining control over our reactions to external circumstances. So why practice mindfulness? because it helps us to pause between our experiences and our reactions to them. By becoming more mindful, we can choose responses that align with our values and goals instead of getting swept away by emotions. For example, when someone says something that upsets you, instead of immediately reacting or snapping back, mindfulness allows you to take a step back. You notice your emotional surge, but choose to observe it passively, without acting on it immediately. This space that mindfulness creates is not just calming, it's empowering. It gives you the chance to choose a response that you won't regret later. Let's talk about how to incorporate mindfulness into daily life, because it sounds great in theory, but it's in the practice that the real magic happens. One simple technique is to focus on your breathing. When you find yourself feeling anxious or angry, take a moment to concentrate on deep, slow breaths. This focus pulls your mind away from the triggers of stress or anger and brings you back to what you can control: your breath. Another practical method is what I like to call mindful observation. Choose an ordinary task or moment, like drinking a cup of coffee. Focus all your senses on this experience. Notice the aroma, the heat of the cup in your hands, the taste. This practice of engaging fully with the present moment can transform an ordinary experience into a richer, more textured moment. What's fascinating about this is that it trains your brain to apply the same level of awareness to more challenging situations. When anger or frustration arises, you'll be better equipped to handle it with the same focus and calm. Stoicism also teaches us about the impermanence of our experiences. Nothing lasts forever, not even our emotions. Mindfulness complements this by helping us to experience our feelings without judgment. Acknowledge that you're angry, recognize it, but also remind yourself that this anger is just a passing state. It's not who you are, and it doesn't control you, unless you let it. The idea that everything changes and nothing lasts forever is a universal truth that can help us navigate life's ups and downs with more grace and less frustration. It's about understanding that our circumstances, emotions, and even our thoughts are constantly in flux, and learning to embrace this constant state of change rather than resisting it. Think about how often we get upset because things didn't go as planned. Maybe it was a job promotion that didn't come through, a relationship that ended unexpectedly, or a sudden change in our health. Our first reaction might be to resist these changes, to get angry or sad. But Stoicism invites us to look at these situations differently, through the lens of impermanence. When we truly grasp that nothing is permanent, we start to realize that our anger or disappointment is also temporary. This doesn't diminish the importance of our feelings, but gives us a more balanced perspective on them. Embracing impermanence allows us to live more in the present and worry less about the past and the future. If you know that everything is temporary, you begin to appreciate your experiences and the people around you more deeply. You don't take things for granted because you're aware that circumstances can change at any moment. This awareness can be incredibly freeing. It reduces the sting of negative events and enhances the joy of positive ones. Now, how do we practice accepting impermanence in daily life? Start by reflecting on the transient nature of your surroundings and experiences. For example, watch how the seasons change. Observe how your feelings shift throughout the day, or how your relationships evolve over time. These observations can be reminders that change is the only constant. Another way to integrate this into your life is by adjusting how you respond to disruptions or unexpected changes. Instead of reacting with frustration when something doesn't go your way, take a moment to acknowledge that this change is part of a bigger flow of life. It's an opportunity to adapt and grow. Think about a time when something didn't work out as you had hoped. and then something better came along. Often, it's only in hindsight that we see how these changes were beneficial. Stoicism doesn't just ask us to accept impermanence, it encourages us to find strength in it. Each change and ending is a chance to practice resilience and flexibility. By fostering this mindset, we not only cope with life's challenges more effectively, but also learn to move through them with a sense of peace and anticipation for what's next. The Stoics believe that becoming aware of the root causes of our emotions could lead to greater self-mastery. When we understand our emotions, we are better equipped to respond to life's challenges in ways that are aligned with our values and goals, rather than simply reacting out of habit or impulse. Every emotion we experience, whether it's anger, joy, sadness, or fear, is triggered by our perception. For example, if you feel angry when someone interrupts you while speaking, it's worth exploring why. Is it because you feel disrespected? Or perhaps it reflects a deeper insecurity about your voice being heard. By digging into these questions, you can begin to understand not just your reactions, but also the beliefs and values that underlie them. This understanding is crucial because it gives you the opportunity to change your perceptions and consequently the way you feel. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions are predicated on our judgments. The good news is that judgments can be examined and changed. So when you feel a strong emotion, try to step back and ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Is this belief true? Is it helpful? This kind of questioning can be very powerful. It allows you to shift your perspective and choose a different emotional response, one that serves you better. For instance, if you're feeling anxious about a work presentation, it might be because you believe that you must perform perfectly in order to be respected. But is this really true? Likely, your colleagues value your effort and sincerity more than perfection. Recognizing this can alleviate some of your anxiety and help you approach the situation with more calmness and confidence. Practically speaking, journaling can be an incredibly effective tool for understanding your emotions. By writing down what you feel and exploring why you feel it, you can uncover patterns and triggers that you might not be aware of otherwise. This reflection not only helps in the moment, but also builds a sort of emotional intelligence over time that can make you more resilient and adaptable. Another approach is to discuss your feelings with someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or a mentor. Speaking about your emotions can provide new insights and perspectives that you might not have considered. It's often through dialogue that we come to new understandings about ourselves and our relationships. Embracing the Stoic approach to emotions isn't about suppressing what you feel. On the contrary, it's about engaging with your emotions in a proactive and reflective way. It's about taking control of the narrative of your inner life. By understanding your emotions, you're not just reacting to the world, you're actively shaping your experience of it. Stoicism teaches us the value of patience, not just as a way to endure, but as a method to transform our experiences. Patience, according to Stoic philosophy, isn't just about waiting, it's about how we behave while we wait. It's about maintaining our composure and dignity in the face of life's delays and challenges, understanding that these are often outside our control. In our daily lives, we encounter countless situations that can trigger impatience, from a slow-moving line at the grocery store to a traffic jam or a delayed response from a colleague. Our first instinct might be to feel irritated or stressed, but here's where Stoicism comes into play. It encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtue. Every instance of delay is a chance to exercise patience, to reinforce our ability to stay calm and collected. So, how can we develop patience in practical terms? One effective approach is to adjust our expectations. Often, our impatience stems from a mismatch between our expectations and reality. If we start by acknowledging that delays and obstacles are natural parts of life, we're less likely to get upset when they occur. This doesn't mean lowering our standards, but rather aligning our expectations with the fact that the world won't always operate according to our preferences. Another key method is to use the moments of waiting as opportunities for growth and reflection. If you're stuck in traffic, instead of fuming over the delay, you can turn it into valuable time, listening to an audiobook, practice deep breathing, or simply reflect on your day. This shift in perspective turns a frustrating situation into a productive or relaxing one. Practicing mindfulness is also a powerful ally in developing patience. By being present in the moment and fully engaging with it, we can distance ourselves from the feelings of urgency and restlessness that often accompany waiting. Mindfulness helps us cultivate a peaceful state of mind that buffers us against the stirrings of impatience. Stoicism not only advocates for patience, but also for understanding the impermanence of our current state. Remembering that this too shall pass can help us endure unpleasant situations, whether it's waiting for a delayed flight or enduring a long recovery from an illness. The knowledge that it is temporary makes it more bearable. Finally, celebrating small victories is crucial in developing patience. When you manage to stay calm during a situation that would normally make you impatient, acknowledge and reward yourself for this achievement. This reinforces the behavior and makes it more likely to become a habit. This is one of those transformative experiences that not only changes the way we relate to others, but also profoundly affects our inner peace. Forgiveness in the Stoic sense is not about condoning wrongdoings or forgetting the harm done. It's about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden that comes from carrying grudges. Forgiveness requires a strong sense of self-awareness and control over one's emotions, qualities that Stoics strive to develop. It involves recognizing that our anger and hurt, while natural and valid responses to perceived injustices, are ultimately within our control. This doesn't mean that the process is simple or immediate. Forgiveness can be challenging. It often requires a deliberate, concerted effort to let go of deep-seated feelings of injustice. Consider the power that comes from deciding not to allow someone else's actions to disturb your inner tranquility. This is the essence of Stoic forgiveness. It's about making a conscious choice to not let past actions continually affect your present state of mind. This decision helps you reclaim your emotional energy and focus it on more constructive pursuits that align with your values and goals. Now, how do we start practicing forgiveness in everyday life? It begins with the recognition that all humans are fallible, ourselves included. We all make mistakes, sometimes out of ignorance, sometimes out of malice. Reflecting on our own shortcomings can help us develop empathy towards others, making it easier to forgive. Another Stoic practice is to consider the bigger picture. Often, the things we hold on to are not as significant in the grand scheme of our lives. By focusing on our long-term well-being, which is bolstered by peace and harmony, the immediate sting of grievances can be mitigated. Practicing forgiveness also involves actively reframing our narratives. Instead of viewing yourself as a victim, which can perpetuate feelings of anger and helplessness, try to see yourself as a survivor, or even a hero of your story, one who has overcome challenges and emerged stronger. This shift in perspective not only facilitates forgiveness, but also empowers you in your life's journey. Moreover, engaging in meditation or mindfulness exercises can assist in the process. These practices help calm the mind and provide the space needed to process emotions more rationally and less reactively. As you sit quietly and focus on your breath, allow thoughts of forgiveness to enter your mind. Picture those you feel have wronged you and imagine sending them thoughts of goodwill. This doesn't mean you accept the wrong, but you are choosing to release its hold over you. Finally, it's important to understand that forgiveness is a process, sometimes a lengthy one. It doesn't happen all at once, and that's perfectly okay. Each step towards forgiveness, no matter how small, is a step towards a freer, more emotionally balanced life. At its essence, self-retrobe allows us to pause before reacting, giving us the time to consider whether our impulses align with our long-term goals. For instance, if you're trying to lead a healthier lifestyle, self-retrobe is what helps you choose not to eat that late-night junk food. In emotional situations, self-retrobe helps you hold back a harsh word or an angry reply, preserving relationships and maintaining peace of mind. How can we strengthen this essential skill? One effective Stoic practice is to regularly reflect on our actions and their consequences. This could be as simple as taking a few minutes each evening to think about the choices you made throughout the day. Were there moments when you lacked self-control? What triggered it? Understanding these patterns is the first step towards managing them. Another powerful technique is to set clear personal rules for behavior based on your values. Stoicism teaches us that living according to rational principles is key to a good life. By setting and following your own rules, for example, not checking your phone during meals or limiting time spent on social media, you exercise self-control in ways that directly improve your daily life and well-being. Visualization is another tool that can be incredibly helpful. Before entering a situation where you know you might be tempted to act impulsively, take a moment to visualize yourself handling the situation with calm and restraint. Imagine the satisfaction you'll feel from acting in accordance with your principles. This mental rehearsal can make it much easier to keep your cool in the heat of the moment. It's also beneficial to gradually increase your tolerance for discomfort, which is a big part of what self-control is all about. The Stoics believe that by voluntarily exposing ourselves to discomfort, whether it's cold showers, fasting, or resisting urges, we can strengthen our willpower. These practices teach us that we can endure discomfort and that it's often not as bad as we fear. This realization directly feeds into our ability to exercise self-retreat in more complex emotional or social situations. Lastly, remember that practicing self-control is a journey, not a destination. There will be times when you falter. That's just part of being human. What matters is that you recognize these moments, learn from them, and continue to strive for improvement. Each act of self-control, no matter how small, is a victory in its own right and a step towards becoming a wiser, more balanced person. Ever heard the saying, "Don't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm"? It's a powerful reminder, connected to ancient Stoic wisdom, about the importance of balancing kindness with self-care. Yet, in today's rush to be seen as good, to always be the one who gives, many have twisted the noble act of kindness into a self-destructive habit. We are often told to go above and beyond, to push our limits for the sake of others. But at what cost? The truth is, too much kindness, when it drains your own resources, energy, and well-being, is not a virtue, but a path to ruin. Many have lost their way, giving so much of themselves that they're left feeling empty, unappreciated, and burned out. It's a modern-day tragedy where the best of intentions lead to the worst of outcomes. Stoicism shows us another way, a way to be generous without losing oneself, a way to be kind, but also kind to oneself. It teaches us the art of balanced generosity, ensuring our actions enrich others' lives while also safeguarding our own well-being. In this video, we'll unveil how Stoic principles can help you set healthy boundaries so your kindness becomes a source of strength, not depletion. We'll explore how to give without losing, love without hurting, and be there for others without disappearing from our own lives. Stay with us as we navigate the fine line between generosity and self-preservation, guided by the wisdom of Stoicism. 1. Don't set yourself on fire to warm others. Too much kindness can become a trap, one that Marcus Aurelius, a wise Stoic philosopher, would caution us against. Imagine yourself as someone who always rushes to help others, never saying no. It's like giving out pieces of yourself until there's nothing left. You become the person who's always there for others, but when you look around, you find yourself standing alone in your time of need. It's not just about being kind, it's about being kind to yourself as well. Marcus would remind us that our first duty is to our own well-being. Without it, we can't genuinely be there for others. Consider the story of two neighboring gardeners, one who meticulously cared for their own garden, and another who, despite having their own plot, frequently tended to everyone else's gardens. The diligent gardener, understanding the importance of self-care, nurtured their garden with the right balance of attention and resources, resulting in a vibrant and flourishing space. This gardener's plot was not only a source of personal joy, but also provided surplus produce to share with neighbors. On the other hand, the disproportionately giving gardener spent so much time and effort on others' gardens that their own plot became neglected. Without proper care, their garden wilted and the yields were meager. In their quest to be helpful, they overlooked their own needs, leaving their garden, and metaphorically, themselves depleted. Let this be a reminder to reflect before diving headfirst into helping others. Ask yourself, is this help sustainable? Am I preserving my well-being? The ancient Stoics would encourage us to practice Stoicism by setting healthy boundaries and ensuring that, in our quest to be kind, we do not forget to be kind to ourselves. After all, you can't pour from an empty cup. In Stoicism, the aim is to maintain your inner peace and integrity while contributing positively to the lives of others, ensuring a balanced and fulfilling life for both you and those you wish to help. 2. Reciprocity has an expiration date. Generosity is a virtue that enriches our lives and those around us, yet it harbors a subtle trap when done without moderation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy still echoing wisdom in our modern hustle, teaches us a critical lesson about the limits of kindness. Offering help with an open heart is noble, but expecting the same measure of generosity in return can lead us down a path of disappointment. Life has a way of showing us that the good we do today might not be remembered tomorrow. This isn't a reflection of our worth or the value of our deeds, but a natural drift of human memory and gratitude. Consider the act of giving as planting a tree. You nurture it, hoping it will grow and perhaps one day offer shade or fruit. But nature has its course. Storms, droughts, and seasons change. Similarly, when we extend kindness, we must detach from the expectation of a direct return. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, advise us to focus on our actions, not their outcomes. Some things are within our control, and some things are not, he stated, reminding us that the joy of giving should come from the act itself, not from the anticipation of repayment. Embracing this mindset shields us from the sting of unmet expectations. It teaches us emotional resilience, allowing us to continue being kind and generous without feeling depleted or taken advantage of. This doesn't mean we should harden our hearts, but rather that we should find balance. Recognize the impact of your kindness as a reflection of your character, not a transaction. By doing so, we not only protect our peace of mind, but also cultivate a form of generosity that is pure, self-sustaining, and genuinely fulfilling. This Stoic principle encourages us to give freely but wisely, ensuring our kindness enriches us, regardless of how the world responds. In your daily interactions, how can you apply the principle of giving without expectation? Think about a specific scenario where you can offer kindness or support without seeking anything in return. Consider the practical steps you might take to ensure your generosity remains a source of personal fulfillment rather than depletion. 3. Received requests have no limits. Reflecting on history, it's fascinating to observe the extreme services royalty demanded, from dressing to personal hygiene, all performed by attendants. Fast forward to today, and it's clear that people still have expectations of us, often asking for favors they could easily handle themselves. Stoicism shines a light on this, teaching us the value of setting boundaries and embracing moderation. This ancient philosophy serves as a beacon, guiding us through the sea of endless requests, enabling us to act with intention and preserve our emotional well-being. It isn't about denying help, but about finding balance, ensuring we don't lose ourselves while supporting others. Take, for instance, the poignant tale of a mother and her adult daughter in a quaint town. The mother, out of love, cared for her daughter to the point of preventing her from embracing her responsibilities. This dynamic continued until the mother's untimely demise, which surprisingly catalyzed the daughter's independence. This story underlines a crucial lesson. While our intentions may be pure, excessive support can inadvertently stifle growth. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, encapsulated this wisdom in his meditation. A man's job is to stand upright, not to be kept upright by others. This insight urges us to encourage self-reliance, fostering a balance that benefits everyone involved. Seneca, with his profound insights into human connections, observed, "He who begins to be your friend because of the benefit will also cease because of the benefit." This serves as a powerful reminder to nurture relationships based on genuine connections rather than transactional interactions. True friendship and support should not hinge on what we can offer, but on mutual respect and understanding. Stoicism teaches us to value ourselves not for what we can give, but for who we are, cultivating self-esteem and authentic connections. Stoicism empowers us to embrace moderation, setting boundaries to protect our well-being while still extending genuine support to others. By prioritizing our responsibilities and honoring our needs, we not only preserve our authenticity, but also engage in more meaningful acts of generosity. This balanced approach to life and relationships ensures that we remain true to ourselves and our values, leading a life of virtue and fulfillment as we navigate the demands of modern life. Let us remember that being mindful of our own needs is not selfishness, but a necessary act of self-care. 4. Being seen and treated as fragile. Stoicism teaches us a powerful lesson about inner resilience and self-command. It's about building a fortress within, honing the art of self-restraint, and drawing clear lines in the sand that define our personal space. Over time, constantly bending over backward for others can ironically lead to being perceived as weak. Without firm boundaries, we become exposed, easily exploited by those who see our generosity not as a strength, but as an opening to take advantage of. This cycle of overextension and exploitation drains us, leaving us feeling undervalued and overburdened. Yet the moment we start to assertively say no, a shift occurs. We're no longer the go-to for every request or demand. This assertiveness broadcasts a newfound respect for ourselves, signaling to others that we value our time and energy, warranting their respect in return. Cicero, a luminary in Stoic philosophy, encapsulated this when he asserted, "What you think of yourself is much more important than what others think of you." By setting boundaries and exercising self-discipline, we not only protect our mental and emotional well-being, but also command respect from those around us. Remember, the power of no is transformative. It's a declaration of self-worth and a testament to the respect you demand from the world. Embrace this mantra and watch as it reshapes the dynamics of your relationships, fostering mutual respect grounded in dignity and self-value. However, embodying this change isn't without its challenges. Being universally available often attracts those seeking aid, sidelining you when the time for celebration comes. It's a harsh reality where your open-heartedness might lead to exclusion from moments of joy, confined to the role of the helper, absent in times of leisure. This realization, though bitter, serves as a litmus test for discerning genuine connections from opportunistic ones. It's an exercise in recognizing the true value of relationships, encouraging a mindful approach to whom we offer our time and energy. Did you know that the practice of setting boundaries, a core principle of not only improves our personal well-being, but also enhances the quality of our relationships? It's a curious but true aspect of human psychology. When we respect ourselves enough to say no, we often gain the respect of others. This paradoxical effect highlights the transformative power of self-respect and the importance of discernment in our connections. By embracing wisdom, we not only protect ourselves from burnout, but also cultivate relationships that are truly enriching and reciprocal. If you have learned anything of value so far, leave a thumbs up to show your support. Now, let's discuss strategies to avoid being used by others and to avoid the dangers of too much kindness. First strategy: eliminate the fear of saying no. Reflect deeply on why the word no often feels so heavy, tracing its weight back to early lessons that equated niceness with acceptance. Such lessons, deeply ingrained during our formative years, come laced with a fear of rejection, shaping a belief system that equates our worth with perpetual accommodation. Yet the philosophy of Stoicism invites us to challenge and reject these ingrained notions, advocating for a life of deliberate choice rather than one led by the undercurrents of past conditioning. As adults, we wield the autonomy to redefine our interactions, recognizing that the fears instilled in us as children no longer hold sway. Through the lens of Stoicism, we're equipped with the mental tools to analyze our emotions, allowing us to respond to life's demands with thoughtfulness rather than being puppeteered by past habits. Asserting boundaries by saying no, especially when requests encroach upon our well-being or sense of fairness, becomes not just an act of defiance against outdated fears, but a profound exercise in self-respect and autonomy. However, it's crucial to balance our newfound assertiveness with empathy and emotional intelligence. Stoicism doesn't merely advocate for self-interest or isolation, but stresses the importance of contributing positively to our community and the lives of those around us. The philosophy encourages us to find a middle ground where we can offer help and support to others without compromising our well-being. This is where emotional intelligence comes into play, allowing us to discern when and how to help in a manner that is both beneficial to others and sustainable for us. Recognizing the genuine needs of others while also being mindful of our own limits is a testament to true wisdom. It ensures that our acts of kindness are not only acts of self-discipline, but also of compassion and understanding, fostering a society where mutual respect and support thrive. Second strategy: pay attention to your feelings. Embracing Stoicism nudges us toward introspection and mindfulness, guiding us to scrutinize our thoughts and emotions while fostering mental resilience. This ancient wisdom encourages us to become custodians of our inner peace by observing our reactions and feelings, especially in acts of generosity. It teaches us that true fulfillment in assisting others should elevate us, akin to the buoyancy of clouds. Conversely, feelings of exhaustion, irritation, or exploitation signal a need to recalibrate. It's essential to recognize when our contributions, though not obligatory, begin to erode our serenity. Acknowledging this discomfort is not self-deception, but a courageous act of self-care, ensuring that our benevolence remains a source of joy rather than a drain on our spirit. Third strategy: see yourself as a priority. It's easy to become a maestro in the most obscure fields, yet completely overlook our own well-being. Echoing the Stoic virtues of discipline and self-esteem, carving out moments for self-care is non-negotiable. Stoicism, after all, nurtures the soul, teaching us the art of self-preservation. So, sidestep self-neglect, nurture your physical, emotional, and mental health, and acknowledge your presence. Elevate your needs. This approach demands your full commitment. Embrace your entirety. Forgive your past missteps, and view the unfolding year as a canvas for Stoic renewal. Select an endeavor solely for your pleasure, honoring this time as a testament to self-love. Uphold your boundaries without guilt in declining others if demands encroach on your sanctuary. Offer assistance within your constraints, underscoring that your personal revival takes precedence. Fourth strategy: identify the takers. Embracing Stoic virtues like self-discipline and discernment empowers us to distinguish relationships that enrich us from those that deplete our spirit. Engaging with individuals who perpetually demand more creates dependency and depletes our ability to preserve and deploy our time effectively. Be it in terms of attention, time, or resources, mirrors a dynamic where we, the nurturers, are left exhausted, our energies sapped by the insatiable. Stoicism teaches us the value of inner fortitude, reminding us that change is a door only one can unlock for oneself. Believing we can transform others through sheer goodwill is a fallacy. True transformation is a personal journey, ignited by individual willpower, not external interventions. This philosophy doesn't advocate for cold-heartedness, but champions a balanced approach to relationships. It's a dance of give and take, where excessive generosity can leave us barren, while stinginess isolates us. Stoicism encourages us to harness our capacity for kindness and generosity, yet also to wield the sword of discernment, cutting ties when necessary for our well-being. It's about finding equilibrium, ensuring our acts of kindness are not at the expense of our own vitality. Remember, the strongest relationships are those where both parties grow, not where one withers so the other can bloom. Stoicism invites us to strike a balance, compelling us to carefully evaluate our actions and their impacts. It emphasizes the importance of maintaining equilibrium in our generosity, urging us not to exhaust our resources to the detriment of our primary objective, living a fulfilling life. Conversely, it warns against being overly cautious in our giving, suggesting instead that we use our generosity wisely. Seneca, a luminary of Stoic thought, captures this ethos perfectly. Kindness is a treasure. A benefit should be kept like a buried treasure, to be unearthed only in case of necessity. His words encourage us to be prepared to act benevolently towards others, acknowledging the deep bond that connects all humans. We recommend watching our video on how to become happy in 2025. What resonated with you most in today's discussion? Let us know in the comments. If this message was valuable to you and you're curious to learn more about how Stoicism can enhance your life, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support is crucial in helping us share knowledge and continue creating content that resonates with you. Together, let's build a community of curious minds eager to learn and grow.